All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to One Soccer. We are here for the watch along today, presented by Degree. It's the Vamos watch along. We'll have the post game following the watch along with some other guests as well. So hopefully you guys are excited for today. We are first going to bring up the starting 11 that some of you guys may have already seen, and we're just going to touch on it just for a little bit here. Hopefully you guys are excited. First thing I'm going to ask is for you guys to drop a prediction into the chat. Let me know how confident you guys are feeling and if you're ready for what I assume is going to be a bit of a bloodbath. But the starting 11 only had one change. Playing in the 4-2-2 again. Corpo is the keeper. Johnson right back. Bombito. Cornelius Date. It says Davies here, but I don't believe that's how it's actually going to line up. I'm pretty sure Richie Laray will be playing at left back. Liam Miller will be going over to the right-hand side playing right mid. Kone Eustakio as the two central midfielders. Davies will be going up to left mid with Laren and David as the two strikers. So I was a little surprised. I've talked to a few people leading up to this match and just kind of stressed that I felt like there should be some rotation. I mean, at major tournaments, you usually see rotation. I got some pushback, and it just kind of made me believe that, Jesse Marsch has his guys that he really trusts. There's also the issue that Kone and Cornelius are both on yellows. So if one of them pick up a yellow in this match, they'll be suspended for the Chile match. I thought a couple players that could maybe break into the starting 11 could obviously be like a Jacob Schaffelberg, maybe an Azorio or Bear up front, and then Richie Laryea was the other big name. I am a little bit surprised that he came in for Tajon Buchanan, and I really think it speaks volumes to how much Jesse Marsch really trusts Liam Miller. Because a lot of you guys in the chat, and honestly, a lot of you guys everywhere, there's a split decision. I thought Liam Miller had a strong showing or solid showing against Argentina. I liked the chemistry he was building with Alphonso Davies. I liked the chances they were creating. I think they worked really well together. When Davies went forward, they combined well. Liam Miller with that ability to kind of drive in makes the defender really think about, do I need to take on someone like Liam Miller who can go 1v1 and can hit him from distance, or I need to watch the overlap. And Liam Miller is also very responsible in terms of allowing Davies to go forward and dropping back. He's also a pressing machine. He's like I said, he's perfectly tailor-made for a Jesse Marsch system. So the fact that Liam Miller remained in the starting 11 and Tajon Buchanan was the one to be left out, I thought is very interesting. Now, a lot of you guys also mentioned that super sub Jacob Schaffelberg could have been an option, but now we have a super sub Tajon Buchanan to worry about, which I think is going to be fascinating. So let's get into some of the comments. Let me know what you guys think. Like I said, drop your predictions in here. We got Trevor saying a 1-0 prediction for Peru. That was my prediction as well. Over under on the fouls. 35 fouls, I believe, was in the match between Chile and Peru. I'm expecting Peru to make it very, very difficult on us today. My prediction is 1-0 simply because of that reason. I think they're going to be extremely difficult to break down. I think that anytime Canada maybe, finds a little bit of momentum, they're going to try to break it up. They're going to foul. They're going to be gritty. They're just going to basically do what they did against Chile. And it led to a really painful watch. I'm hoping that this Canadian side with the talent that they had, and honestly playing these last 3 matches, will get them primed for an opportunity like this. But I really don't know what to expect because this is still a very new team under Jesse Marsch, and we haven't really seen them take on a team that wasn't a juggernaut. And now we get an opportunity to really see what this team can do. They're the favorites. They're expected to win. How are they going to cope with that pressure when chances come their way? Will they take them? With the possession, are they going to be, in trouble in transition? Can this Peruvian team hit them on the break? All question marks, I don't know, but I'm really excited to see what this team is really made of, because if we want to compete at the highest level and we want to be able to, get a point and do something in a knockout game, this is the opportunity to do so. We pretty much went with our best 11. And yeah, someone that just commented, Peru is the oldest team in the tournament. We got put in a group where there's a possibility. And I'm the first one to say, I've done predictions on Copa America that I had Canada not making it out of the group. This was before Jesse Marsch came in, and these last few games, I thought 2023 was very disappointing, and I just wasn't convinced that teams like Chile and Peru, who this is their tournament, this is Copa America. They know how to get results. Chile have won it a couple times in recent years. I know it's 10 years ago, but you guys get my point. And Peru was in a final recently as well. They know how to get results. And I don't know how this Canadian team will deal with that. And this is the first real opportunity to see how they'll be able to adapt and be able to go to toe-to-toe. And if you've seen Peru's manager's comments on this fist fight, I think that's maybe why Richard Larrea found his way into the starting 11. But I'm really excited for it. Would like to see Schaff after the 55th minute or so. I think there's a very good chance we'll see. At the same time, when I talked about rotation, it wasn't because of form. I wasn't trying to say any of the players in the starting 11 deserve to be kicked out. If you watch tournaments, any tournament, pick one at the international level, you'll see rotation in at least one of the 3 group stage matches. And that's just for fitness issues, let alone when you play in the heat like these players are going to be playing in Atlanta and now in a much hotter Kansas City. So yeah, early substitutions could be a big one. Schaffelberg's one that absolutely comes to mind, especially if the game's not going so well at halftime. He could, can maybe even see him come on in the half. But knowing the heat and knowing that you have Schaffelberg and now Tajon Buchanan on the bench to come off and get some tired legs come the 70th minute or so, I really do like that. The other big worry, as I'm seeing some of you guys mention, is the finishing in front of goal. And yeah, I know we lost 2-0 against Argentina. We have not scored in the last 3 matches. Haven't scored under Jesse Marsch. We have created chances. That Argentina game, everyone said it, could be a 5-2, 6-2 kind of game. Canada had their chances. We didn't put it away. But it's about, and Jesse Marsch stuck with David and Larin. And I know that there was a lot of not issues with, because I liked the way that Kyle Larin has been playing. I was one of the biggest people out there that really questioned whether he would fit this system. I'm still not totally convinced, but what I am convinced of is that Kyle Larin is willing to put in a shift. And I think from the 3 matches I've seen under Jesse Marsch, I think Jesse notices it, and I think Jesse really likes it, that Kyle Larin will work his tail off. And you don't always see it. You don't always notice everything he's doing off the ball and the runs that he's trying to make and his hold-up play. And yes, a couple chances he picked up over the last 3 games, you'd want to back him to put him in the back of the net. But I'm hoping with the talent that David and Larin possess, this is their opportunity to finally kind of break that duck and get this team firing. Peru will be very physical, and y'all need 3 points here to advance. We do. 1 point keeps us alive. I don't want to go in another situation where the 3rd match in a major tournament doesn't matter, because it just sucks. And I think that our team is good enough to make it through. Doesn't mean that they're going to. I've been trying to be very clear on that. I don't want to disrespect Peru at all. This is their competition. They know how to progress and get deep into this tournament, and they can be difficult. We just saw that against Chile. This is going to be a dogfight again. I just think Canada's got a little bit more quality under their belt to hopefully create a chance for themselves. And I'm really curious to see what this team can do with a little bit more of the ball against a team like Peru. Personally, I would have dropped Larin and looked for better service to JD instead. The biggest thing and the biggest reason I believe that Jesse Marsch isn't going to have a ton of rotation is because he's brand new to the job. This is the starting 11 he trusts. He's worked with the most. He's trying to get the most out of, build chemistry under the style he wants to do. So I don't think it's a shock. I think the heat and the fitness of these players can, you can maybe ask, is that a concern? But like I said, I've talked to a lot of people who are there on site watching training sessions and knowing how fit and how hard Jesse works these guys. So like I said, maybe that's a factor that Jesse believes his guys are fit and ready to go. And it also doesn't mean that they're going to play the entire 90. We could see a couple of these guys, yanked out at halftime, 60-minute mark. I think it's tough. You also have the yellow card, like I mentioned, on Kone and Cornelius to keep an eye on. It's tricky. If they get a yellow this game, they're out for Chile. If they don't, and they play against Chile and they get a yellow, they're out for the quarters. Really difficult to navigate. Jonathan David needs to be clinical today. I think he could be in for a big match. One of several Canadian men's national team players who have been linked with a move abroad. Alex and I have a video coming out at some point. I don't actually know when it's coming out, but we did a long, deep dive into the transfer mill of all these Canadian men's national team players that have these exciting transfers. Joshua Cloak dropped an excellent article on it as well. So we took a lot of his reporting as well. So it was a fun little video for you guys to keep an eye on. I'm afraid of another 0-0. I mean, a point keeps us alive. I think 3 would better suit us. It would put us in a pretty good position unless Chile obviously defeated Argentina, but a win here would set up I think a thrilling match against Chile. A draw would mean that we'd have to defeat Chile. And I don't know. I mean, you want to win, and I just think this is it. I mean, you guys can see the starting 11s right here. On paper, Canada's the better team. And I've seen a lot of things I've really liked over the past 3 matches under Jesse Marsch. Some things I didn't, like we said, that Argentina game, we could have shipped 5. Without a doubt, we could have. But, we could have scored as well. And there was moments where you saw what Jesse wanted to do with this team and the players really buying in. With this starting 11 now, we see Alphonso Davies pushed a little further up the pitch. I want to know what that's going to look like. Throughout World Cup qualifying, you guys probably remember times where Richie played at left back with Davies at left mid. We've seen it before. This isn't new. And I think a lot of the times when those two played together, I liked it. I think Davies, he obviously has the ability to drive at players as well. Richie Loré is not afraid to get up forward, knowing that it's kind of awkward because Richie's a righty and Davies is a lefty. So those underlapping runs from Richie could be useful, or Davies could just take a player on. It can work as well, which means then Liam Miller will move over to the right-hand side. And with the way that this team's press and how fit Liam is, hopefully he can have a little bit more impact. Tejan was very quiet against Argentina. He didn't create a lot. Everything went up the left-hand side pretty much. So, it's a frustrating day at the office for him. But then you see Schaffelberg come on the same side and then just have chance after chance and really be able to open his legs and run at the Argentinian back line. So I'm curious to see what Liam Miller will be like. Again, with more of the ball, I'm expecting Alistair Johnson to push further up the pitch as well. So it'll just be a very different game to the one that we watched against Argentina, and a few of those players are ones worth keeping an eye on. All right, but I'm going to get the score prediction in here. If you guys are joining us in the stream, we are about 15 minutes away from kickoff, which means that I need to bring the game up because I don't even have it on yet, and that is important. But let me know your guys' score prediction. Get them in. I'm saying I'm saying 1-0. All right, the game is up. Let me know your score prediction. Most of the One Soccer crew said wins for Canada. I think Wheels was the only one who put in a draw, which again is a totally fair prediction. I think just a lot of us are just excited and want to see 3 points and expect to see 3 points. But a draw is not a bad prediction as well. CF says it's either a 0-0 draw or 2-0 Canada. But he's going with the 0-0 draw. He's going with the 0-0 draw. But we got Blaze coming in with the 2-0. 2-1 Canada. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I just feel like it's going to be cagey. I think it'll be 0-0 at the half. And I think Canada will just eventually wear them down and score. That's kind of how I'm picturing it going. 2-0. A lot of you guys seem pretty confident here, though. Greg said that big move to Chelsea. He has to show it for Jonathan David. A lot of David Ornstein dropped a big exclusive on that. There's a lot of top tier Premier League sides interested in Jonathan David. United, Tottenham, West Ham is in there as well with Chelsea. 25 to 30 million euros for Jonathan David is a steal. We all know that. And those big clubs have the opportunity to easily, that's nothing. That's pocket change. We just saw Chelsea spend 20 mil on some guy who's got a minute worth of Premier League football. So 25 mil for me just kind of fits what Chelsea have been doing. So I'm pretty excited to see what they're going to do. I'm not sure. I think Tottenham's probably the better fit, but all in all, we'll have to wait and see. Got some fuzziness going on there. Alex is joined. Alex is, I don't know what's going on with my camera here. Nice little
popped in and said, "What's up?"
Nice little close up. It just looks a little fuzzy.
Yeah, you're all like blurry. Your focus is off.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why it's off. Makes no sense. There we go. All right, Mr. Alex Gonge-Ruzik has joined us for the watch along. I think he's staying sometime past half, and then he's going to be He's gonna be heading out.
Stay first half. We can do some quick analysis of what's going on,
and Alex will be on his way out. Little sub, a little quick. All right. So Alex, as you've probably seen, one change. Tajon Buchanan is one going out. Richie Laryea is coming in. From what I've heard, some whispers, looks like Richie should be playing left back, Liam Miller right mid, Davies left mid. I want to know your thoughts. I've been pretty open about. I would almost find it odd without any rotation through 3 matches, given that this is a tournament. Games are coming quick. The heat of, Atlanta was hot. Kansas City's even hotter. I know Jesse's new. This is this 11 he clearly trusts and wants to go with. But I still feel like, some substitutions have to happen here. So we did see one. Richie Laryea comes in. What do you make of it? Do you like it? And do you like the fact that it's going to be Davies now pushing up with Laryea behind him?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see basically when it kicks off, because he is listed as a defender on the Canada graphic, or at least he's listed further down. Of course, that could always just be mind games, right? Because the thing is with Laryea, he could swap straight in for Buchanan, and also on the flip side, you can move Davies up the field. I'd be curious, I think, because if Davies goes up the field with how Peru set up, that speed could really cause some problem for their wing backs, although Peru will probably just counter it by keeping them super defensive. Of course, Marcos Lopez is there, the former San Jose Earthquake, playing over in Holland. But on the right side, Polo is more of a natural winger. It was a bit of a surprise to see him playing at wingback. I thought they might go like Lopez and Vincula. Of course, and Vincula dealing with a bit of a niggle. So I'd like that to see Davies and Miller as the wingers in terms of the speed and the threat that they could put under those wingbacks, force them back. If either, Peru's wingbacks are aggressive in their space, or if they're more defensive, that nullifies the threat they can bring the other way. So I think it's definitely something to watch. Again, Laryea could also play that role, so I wouldn't be surprised either way. But it felt like this game was tailor-made for Laryea, so it was good to see him get slotted in. And you know what? It's something like we've mentioned. It's tough for Buchanan because you would have maybe liked to see him get a chance in this game where there's a little bit more space, but he hasn't really been able to take his chance. There's guys behind him itching to step up, and now Laryea gets that opportunity.
So you listened to the Peru coach little statement there about fighting, and that's why Richie Laryea ended up in the starting 11. But but I do have a question though around Liam Miller. So I think, as you know, Alex, I told you that I thought that Liam Miller and Davies did some pretty good things in that Argentina match, especially in the first half. I know that they slowed down a little bit, but I liked a lot of what Liam did. We both agreed that this is a player who will really benefit under Jesse Marsch. I think this is a statement of it. I mean, the fact that Tajon Buchanan is the one coming out, Liam Miller's maybe going to go over to the right-hand side. Maybe he's going to stay on the left. We'll have to wait and see. But regardless, he's starting. I want to know, one, what does that mean for Liam Miller and obviously fighting his way? This was a player that used to be in the outside looking in with John Herdman, and now is all of a sudden someone who's keeping Tajon Buchanan on the bench. And the second thing is, if, hypothetically, he moves over to the right-hand side, how do we get more out of him? Buchanan had a pretty tough day at the office against Argentina. Now, I know Peru is different, but a lot of it also meant because a lot of the ball came out the left-hand side because that's where Davies is. Davies and Miller created a lot in that first half, and we just didn't see a lot of Tajon. And then Schaffelberg came on for the right-hand side, and he created a lot. So, it is a little harsh on Tajon, but what are you expecting for Liam Miller? And are you expecting Alistair Johnston maybe to get a little bit more forward now in this match, knowing that it's not Argentina anymore?
Yeah, that's why I'm curious to see how it's set up, right? Because there's genuinely, I could see Davies on the left, Miller on the right, like you mentioned. I could see Miller on the left, Davies on the right, cutting in and letting Johnston overlap. And then maybe Laryea overlaps on that side. You could also, right, like I mentioned earlier, maybe Davies ends up playing at the back, because especially if you do pin Peru's wingbacks back, the one thing that stood out against Chile, there were a lot of attacks where it was Lapadula and Flores on an island. And I think that's something where, they're not the paciest guys. I think if you're Bombito and Cornelius, you can feel pretty confident in that matchup. I thought Peña was outstanding and probably one of Peru's best players in the midfield there. He's one of the guys getting on the ball and pushing it forward. So it's obviously something that'll have to be watched in the midfield. But I think it's something where Canada can get away with having their fullbacks pretty aggressive, especially if maybe Eustáquio plays a little more conservatively. We've seen him at times sometimes make up back threes in possession for Canada. So I'd expect both fullbacks to be pretty aggressive anyway. So I think it's something for Canada. The positioning might not end up mattering. It's more the matchups, right? Who's with who? Because with what's nice with like a Miller Davies is like we know Miller can cut inside, Davies takes that space. But of course, if you got Davies on the right, he can cut inside, and we know he can shoot it. We know he can rip it, and that frees up Johnson for an overlap. Then on the flip side, Miller can cut inside, Larea can overlap. There's a lot of different combinations that I could see worked with, and rightfully so, because I think Canada, if they're going to have any success in this game, the middle is going to be jammed up. There's a reason why Peru is playing a 3-5-2. It's very central heavy. It's going to be a very physical game in the middle. But if Canada can create overloads out wide, expose those wing backs, create isolations against the center backs who aren't always the like Collins and Araujo, maybe not the most mobile, there could be some joy to be had there.
Now, I also have another question. I saw some debate earlier before you jumped on, Alex, around yellow cards. Cornelius and Kone are both on them. So I want to know your thoughts on, like, it's hard to know what to do because, like, again, hypothetically, if Kone gets a yellow or Cornelius gets a yellow this match, they miss Chile, which would suck. But if they don't and they get a yellow against Chile, they miss the quarterfinal matchup. So if you're Jesse Marsh, like, how do you navigate it? Now, the nice thing with Cornelius, although I love the Cornelius Bombito partnership, it's who I want to see, but I think you have a very much like for like replacement with Kamal Miller. Kone is the one that scares me because if you lose him for the you have no one who can replace him. So is it just something you worry about as it comes? How do you manage it? Because that Kone second yellow has me worried about whether he misses Chile or, of course, if we do progress to the quarterfinals, if he misses that one.
Well, I think this one's the more important game because there's a scenario which you lose to Peru, Chile or Argentina wins, you're out. You're out of the tournament. Then it doesn't matter anything about yellow cards in the third game. I'd say it makes sense to go what you think your strongest lineup is now. And he felt that Richie Larea slots in and can help that in whatever role it ends up being. We've, of course, spent a few minutes already just diving into what that might be. And then you worry about the Chile game. I think it's something where, especially if you win this game with that 11, you can maybe get away with being a little more cautious with how you deal with the Kone, right? Because there's a scenario, again, we'll have to see how these next two games today play out, because with Chile and Argentina playing later, that Canada might only need a draw in the last game. And that's not to say they should go out and play for a draw against Chile. And no matter the scenario, they should always go out and play for a win. But if it's something where they get the win today, they don't want to risk Kone, they can find some sort of balance heading into that third game if they set themselves up favorably. Whereas today, if they lose, that's something where that sacrifice doesn't matter. And so I'm curious to see. I think for Kone as well, it could also be just a matter of how he's deployed. If Eustáquio still has a yellow to give, let him be put in a bit more of the defensive positions, a bit more of the high risk situations. And yeah, maybe it's something where if you grab a lead or a 2-goal lead, you bring in a Piet just to shut things down and let him deal with that side versus letting Kone get put at risk of getting suspended, because we want him on the field as much as possible.
I agree. So Alex, did you put the 1-0 prediction as well? Because that's
yeah, we had the same idea. Because that was something where something like Peru's so low event defensively, they've allowed 1 goal since their new manager's taken over. Canada themselves have been pretty low event offensively. Like, this just feels like a low event game written all over it, and it's like 34 degrees at kickoff. I saw, like, there's no shade in that Kansas stadium. Like, it's gonna be a slog of a game.
It's gonna be hot. We did have a question earlier. And I thought it was a good question. And again, it was just in terms of kind of rotation. We don't know what the score is going to be like at the 50th minute at halftime or whatever it may be. But given the fact that, like I mentioned, the tournament's coming so fast, it's hot there. Would it shock you if you saw like a triple substitution, not like mainly just for fitness purposes? Like, it could be, 0-0, 1-0 for Peru, 1-0 for Canada, whatever it may be. Would it surprise you if, like, at the 60th, you could see a triple substitution? Just because they're planning for it, or you don't know?
Well, I mean, if Marsh used only 4 subs against Argentina, I thought already that was something where there were some tired legs. This game, there's no reason not to use all 5. Like, it's going to be a slog, especially the fact that 10 out of these guys all played. Well, of course, 9 of the outfield guys all played against Argentina, and all of them have played like 4 straight games, and there's fresh legs, right? So I'd say don't be scared to use them, especially if it's going to be a slog. Of course, it depends on Canada's game plan, because ideally, if all goes well, and you saw it against Argentina, you get your goals early so that you could be a bit more cautious, a bit more defensive in the second half. And that might involve substitutions where you can bring on, you're not as stressed about bringing off a Laren or a David, especially a David, just because David's going to run so much. You don't want him to run himself in the ground with how hot it is. But okay, you'd be comfortable. All right, you can throw on a Tanny or a Russell Rowe because Canada's up 1 or 2-0 and they feel confident that they can, rest them. But I think it would be a bit, it's unusual not to use all 5 subs in a case like this, especially the turnaround's shorter. Because as we mentioned after the Argentina game, they had the extra day off where they had the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday off 4 days, whereas before Chile, it's only 3. And you got to travel all the way to Orlando, which it's not far, but it's never easy to travel. I think those are all factors where fresh legs will play a big battle for this one and in the future.
I think so as well. I'm just getting my stream up and my game's now set up. So we're just doing the national anthems right now. Hopefully you guys are excited. If you're joining us on the watch along today, drop a like on the stream, get your guys' final predictions in while you can, and let us know where you're tuning in from today. Alex is out in the West Coast. I'm somewhere near London, Ontario. So let me know where you guys are tuning in from. And this is a big one. I haven't been this excited for a match in a very long time. Not that I wasn't excited for Argentina. I mean, I was thrilled, and even playing France and the Netherlands as well. But when I looked at it, which probably many Canadians did, if we're looking to get out of the group, it's coming from Peru and Chile. These are the games that we need to show up for. We just went 0-3 in the World Cup. This is our another major tournament. I'm so happy to be here, but I want to see the guys take advantage of it. And, us Canadians online, we've been pretty confident. And I've seen some Peru fans coming in here being like, show us some respect. Like, this is our tournament. We've been in a final recently. I know we're older, but, and I think that's fair. I think it's a fair point. So if we want to put our money where our mouth is, today is the day to do it. So I'm very intrigued, Alex. And I'm also really excited to see what Jesse Marsh's team will look like against a team that's a little bit more, well, I mean, not inferior. I'm not trying to say that, but it's not a juggernaut. It's a team that we're actually the favorites against. And that's just not me saying it. That's the bookies saying it. The odds are saying it. So what are you expecting? I think I asked you this before Peru played Chile, and you said that you thought that we would have more possession against Chile, and you thought it'd be about 50-50 against Peru. After watching that match against Chile where Peru had about 35% of the ball, does that change your mindset at all? Do you think that we're going to be now like a 60% possession kind of game, or what are you thinking for the way that Jesse's going to approach this?
Yeah, Peru was a lot more defensive than I thought they would be. It was very, like you mentioned, sit back. Part of it, to be fair, because the possession, as we all know, it's tracked on how many passes you complete, and Peru were woeful. I think it was 66% passing accuracy. So that was as much just their inability to string routine passes together around the back. But I still think Canada will now be the aggressor. I think it was very interesting. They just showed the formation there on the broadcast. It listed as a 5-2-3. With Davies and Larrea as wing backs and Johnston in the back three. And I wonder, again, that might be a sign of Canada being aggressive. And as we'll see now as the game's kicked off. So we'll see what the heck this formation looks like. With Miller to start, looks like he's on the right, but we'll see how long that lasts. All
right. So the game is kicked off. Alex, we're going to link up here. So I'm at 15 seconds. What are you at? 16, 17?
15. We're at the same.
18, 19, 20.
Yep.
Look at that. All right, so if you guys want to link up with us at home, that is what we are at, 25, 26, 27 seconds right now, but we are underway. So now let me see if I can get
my screen's slightly to the right here, so if I'm craning my neck, I got it on the HD monitor here at my desk.
I'm going to put on, no problem, I'm going to put on the live tracker for you guys as well.
Got Canada. Step there. Both teams are gonna want to play in that shaded side of the pitch. Probably feels so much nicer than whatever the heck the humidity and everything in the middle of the field's like.
All right, look at that. That looks lovely. Oh, I don't have the score in.
Oh, jeez, some heavy tackles so far.
I haven't seen it yet. Just trying to adjust this. That's gonna have to do, guys.
So Zambrano got a good piece of there in there.
All right. Hopefully the ticker is good for you guys, up and running. And I'm going to put back on the game. And we're good. All right, Alex. Let's see what the boys are made of here.
Let's see what the mentality is.
Okay. You guys, how many fans are there today? Did you get any indication? I'm not listening to the audio. I'm just listening to your.
I haven't listened to it either. So,
no.
Yeah, I'm curious how many Canadians made it down. Kansas is a bit of an awkward travel, and like I know Orlando, there's going to be a lot of Canadians 'cause it's super easy to get there from out east, like Ontario, Quebec, Nova Scotia, all that. Where it's Kansas is a bit of an awkward one if you're out west or out east to get to.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, it's hard to tell because like Peru is also
Oh.
red and white. So
they're white and red. So basically, I think the fans they rep white. So those large swaths of white you see everywhere. I mean, yeah, those are the Peru fans.
They're Peru fans.
I'm told they travel very well.
Yes,
I'm not surprised at all. There. See this.
Have a nice little break here, but Dare Cornelius, look at the speed. There we go.
All
right, guys.
At least he should have.
No foul.
Abdullah got a good chunk of him.
We got people tuning in from Amsterdam, Alberta, Switzerland, but an England fan. Montreal.
Or one out for the England fan, of course, wins the group, but a bit of a snoozer earlier. But so hopefully my Slovenia can make it through off the back of that result. Looks like they will.
Yeah, Alex, I thought you were trolling me. I did not know that you were Slovenian. I always thought that your other country was Senegal. Like and I thought France too.
Well, I say my grandpa on my mom's side is from Slovenia. Just never really had a chance to cheer much for Slovenia at a major tournament. 2010 World Cup was about the only one since I was younger.
There you go. You got a few nations you can cheer from. You got. Would you go Slovenia over France? So that's your European.
Yeah, I'd say Slovenia and even Austria, because that's on my grandpa's from Slovenia. My grandma's from Austria, so we got Austria too. It's just they balled out today. So
like I said, I'd maybe go for let's get a ball. I'd probably go for Austria if I were you there, Alex.
Well, I say they might go deeper, so I'll just play it by ear.
Good little opportunity there.
I mean, that's what Peru. That's one thing they are good at. Lapadula, he's just a menace in the box, and that's what we said about the wingbacks. If they can get forward and get it into Lapadula, because he just was so starved for service against Chile, and like the 2 half chances he got, he nearly turned into goals. So that is something that Canada will have to be wary of for sure.
Absolutely, it does kind of. What do you think right now, Alex? I know it's early. It kind of does look like the 4-4-2, right?
Yeah, it does. Miller on the right.
On the right. So my little Tweebird was correct.
And then Larea is playing on the left there. So Larea is playing on the left. That is something where it looks like it does look like Davies playing forward, and that left back Larea was true per the graphic, and then just surprising that you got Davies on the left, Miller on the right. But I guess Miller played a lot on the right this year for Preston.
Well, what do you think about Davies and like throughout World Cup qualifying? There were really good moments with Davies and Larea down that left hand side. Kind of a throwback to like when they played in a 4-4-2 and Larea featured at left back. I always thought that Davies and Larea combined well together. So I'm kind of excited to see how they're going to do once again here.
Oh.
Speaking of Richie. We got someone tuning in from Sweden. I'm Canadian, but watching from Sweden. Very cool.
Been to many Derek Cornelius games this year?
Yeah, like I said, you let us know. Charlie, have you watched Cornelius play? Or maybe Bustos?
Yeah, there's a few Canadians out in Sweden. I think Chris Novich Ensah is playing in the Swedish,
yes.
I think second tier or something. 6 minutes. It's still early. Gotta get a goal or something under the legs while they're still fresh.
Yeah,
it'll be a slog.
We definitely have a little bit more of the possession so far.
Oh, geez, Larea got a piece of someone's fist there.
Shocker. That's why he's in here.
The Peru head coach wasn't wrong.
I'm American, but rooting for you all until September friendlies. What do you think of that? I mean, it was long rumored that our second friendly in that window would be the United States. I don't think that's a big shock to anyone. It could be, because I guess we could meet up with the U.S. men's national team in this tournament, but if we don't, it would be the first time Jesse Marsh gets to take on the U.S. So, Alex, what do you make of those two upcoming friendlies? We're playing the other two co-hosts for our 2026 World Cup.
Yeah, it made no sense to wait so long, but then it did when you found out it was in Kansas, and I guess they just wanted to. They knew they'd be in Kansas, so they wanted to be like, "All right, we liked it so much, we're gonna stay, and we're gonna go." I thought they should have just waited till after the game, be like, "Oh, it was so nice, we have to do it twice." Boom, you got your camera. But,
yeah,
maybe you see, Adam, you had ideas there for your social, but I know they obviously did it this morning, so it was out of his.
Yeah, maybe they wanted us to be in good mood leading into the match. Maybe not banking that we're gonna win, but yeah, it's a risk. Adam rolled the dice there, so we'll have to see. But yeah, no, I'm excited for that friendly. I think
it's a good matchup, right? Like, yeah. Of course, with how somehow Canada got lucky and avoided having to go into the earlier rounds of the next Nations League, because I don't know how they got away with that. I think it's a co-host World Cup thing where they want them to. I'm curious to know what the other window's like, because it's September and October. Now we know that for one of the windows, it's Mexico-US. So is another one European opposition, African opposition? Because if they got Canada and US, Mexico skipping out on Nations League, you have to think it's for a pretty good reason.
I don't know. I'd hope so. I would love to see some.
Especially not to just play each other, because
no,
that's.
I would love to see a couple African teams. Then in feature, like just to get a look, Like I remember how excited I was when we played. Uruguay, like right before the World Cup. That was exciting. Nice little ball there.
Some of the tackles that haven't been called for a foul, the leniency is quite high. So, my goodness.
See the report today that Marseille.
Kone.
Yeah.
Is it Kone that prefers Marseille, or the other way around?
De Zerbi apparently is reportedly making him a priority target.
That's what I'm saying about Ligue 1. I think it would fit. I mean, of course, we'll have more on that soon. Not to tease anything. But.
No, if you guys want to keep an eye out, Alex and I did a nice little transfer rumor roundup. We touched on that, so it kind of correlates with what Alex was talking about. But you guys can wait till that video does drop. A lot of exciting rumors coming up for our Canadian players. Look at that nice passing play there.
Gotta release it quicker, because right now. So far, the tackle threshold is very high, which I'm sure. I was gonna say I thought Larray was about to test that threshold, but he didn't.
Lapadula. There was a report that he was gonna be he picked up a knock for this game, but obviously not.
Well, he got. I think it was somewhere in the first. There's a tackle he got absolutely folded in the ad boards. I don't know how he got up and walked after it. He got caught in the ankle and. Got a piece of the ad board, but he's a tough guy, I guess.
Yeah, we'll be starting this game after that in this heat. But the 10 minutes in, Alex, what do you think? Doesn't look as nervy as the Argentina match, eh?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely helps getting a chance to, what do they say, step on the ball a bit, play. I mean, the only thing is, of course, credit has to be given to Peru defensively, but like Canada's not getting much penetration or into the central areas, and when they did with JD there, he just kind of got caught, didn't release it fast enough. So.
It seems like it's been played at a pretty slow pace right now. I don't know if that's a little bit due to the heat, being careful, but this just seems so different than the start of the Argentina game. Hot take.
It's definitely a bit more of the physical side. I'd say that much.
Yeah, but if you guys are with us in the stream, get some questions in. Alex and I will answer them throughout the match. Do as best as we can. So I've seen a couple more come in. When do the Canadian women release their roster? USA releases theirs tomorrow. I
think it should be sometime, probably early next week is my bet.
Early next week?
Yeah,
that'll be exciting.
I know Bev Priestman wanted to finalize it for like early July, late June. So I don't think it'll be this week, but next week it makes sense.
More than likely, I can't 100% say, but more than likely, Alex and I will go live for that to break it down. I'm excited to see what the 18-player roster looks like. I think that's so difficult for Bev to try to do, and it's going to be a little unfair for some players, but that is what it is. It's the Olympics. You don't get the full roster. You can bring the the 4 extras as well, right? So
yeah, the 4 alternates just in case.
Hot take: White Canada jerseys are amazing, and I wish I could buy one. Yeah. I do like the white ones more.
They've grown on a lot of people. They were the ones
Yeah.
getting tried. They're one of those. They just look better in person, right? Like some kids just don't look good at first. And you're like, what is this? And then you see them in person. Like, you know what? I retract all apologies.
Yeah, it's growing on me too. It is. I don't know. I just think it's because I had just something completely different, like envisioned, and it just didn't really look. Either one didn't look like it. So I think a lot of people did too. Because there's also some leaked ones that look really, really good, and as a callback to the '86 World Cup and that new design. That's kind of what I was picturing. But anyways.
Hopefully my connection can hold. It's been a bit buggy on my end. It keeps freezing a bit, so stabilize now. Just hold. You got this. Maybe it's the combination of the being on the stream. The computer's starting to heat up. We're in dangerous territory. Might crash out.
That's all right. Hopefully you can make it to at least halftime, but it's all good. Nice little ball. Oh, first corner of the game? From Davies, that was a good ball.
It's not looking good.
You want to jump off, Alex, and try to?
We'll see. So far,
we'll see.
My computer keeps heating up. I can see the lag. I'd have to abandon ship already. It's gonna be a big thing. It's hot.
That's okay. Just let me know what you got to do. Don't want you to have your computer blow up.
That would not be ideal.
Gonna give it a couple minutes. Or you rolling?
We'll roll for now. It might not be for long.
Okay.
We'll give her 5 more minutes. I think if it continues as is, I might have to get an early sub here for computer cramping.
That's okay. It's been it's been a slow start here for Canada, but I don't know. They just seem they seem a little bit more relaxed to me right now, which is nice. I'm hoping that they can build their way a little bit more in the game. We saw a nice little chance there from Davies. It was a nice ball there from Johnston.
Try to get in the box, get some chances.
It looks like Liam Miller can provide that, especially being on the right, throwing in a cross like that. You get him in some space. He's looked a little lively. Yeah, Dima isn't joining us today, though, unfortunately, but he will be doing the watch along on Saturday against Chile. He's got his son's graduation, so congratulations to Dima, and he gives us his support. He said he's going to try to tune in for a little bit, but it won't just unfortunately be on stream.
I think I might have to tap out next ball. I can feel the.
Okay.
I have to leave you on your own here, Josh. This is.
That's all right.
That'll be my next technological upgrade. Is just something to get the temperature in the room. Let me see. I think my fan tells me how hot it is in here. Come on, let me know. Let me know what it is at. I'm curious. It feels like it's 30, 32, 31 degrees in here. Yeah, that's not good.
All right.
I guess on that note, I'll bid you adieu. It was nice to hop on for a bit, just to chat ahead. But
all right, Alex. Take care. Hopefully your laptop will relax a little bit, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. See you, Josh.
All right. Alex is on his way out. We thank him for stopping by as the watch along continues. Get some comments into the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Canada, Peru, 16 minutes in. It is still 0-0. Oh, what a big turnaround there, but Kyle Aaron could have capitalized on a mistake there, but just didn't get enough of it. Good little press, and that's what we talked about a little bit with Kyle Aaron. Working his tail off and becoming a pretty solid part of Jesse Marsh's system. He's been showing it there, put in the effort, almost won the ball up the pitch like that. About to see. Do you have any Peruvians in the chat? Let me know if so. I know we got a lot of Canadians coming in. Hoping to watch Canada pick up a big victory here today. Am I the only one who thinks this Copa America feels like a Gold Cup? That's an interesting take. What do you guys think about the gold or this Copa America? Are you for it? Just put a yes or no in the chat. Would you like to see, instead of a Gold Cup every 2 years, would you like to see basically a Gold Cup every 4 years, and then 2 years we participate in the Copa America? I don't know if that's if that's realistic and that relationship can continue between the two federations, but I love this tournament. I would much rather go Gold Cup and then 2 years Copa America, 2 years Gold Cup, 2 years Copa America. Being able to play against these nations is huge for us CONCACAF regions. And like the 2016 tournament was awesome. I don't feel like this, I don't personally feel like this feels like a Gold Cup, maybe in terms of some of the starts to these games. The Peru-Chile match reminded me of a CONCACAF title weight between some stubborn teams. Brazil hasn't looked too good so far. Ecuador had a shock, but I don't know. To me, it doesn't really feel like a Gold Cup. It feels it feels like the 2016 Copa America. But I'm a big fan of this tournament. I'm thrilled that CONCACAF nations can be in it. Costa Rica, I mean, showing CONCACAF proud there, picking up a draw against Brazil. Peru stops, drops, and rolls every time you breathe on them or touch them. But we knew that was going to happen. If you watched that Peru versus Chile match, it was insane. 35 fouls, I believe. It was so stop and start. It was painful on the eyes. There wasn't a lot of quality in that match. And Peru's going to bring a lot of that. They're going to try to break up what this Canadian side is trying to do. And it's going to be frustrating. It's how Canada can deal with it. Not let it get to them. Hopefully still be able to carve out chances. We had a couple okay looks so far. A couple balls over the top to Liam Miller and Alphonso Davies. Created some chances. Kyle Aaron can't run at all. I don't know. Let me know, guys, in the chat. A lot of you guys are saying yes, you'd like to see a Gold Cup. Gold Cup should be our version of Copa America, where every 4 years, but 2 years really ruins the shine of the tournament. Yeah, but didn't they move Copa America to every? Or no, I guess that's because they sneak these tournaments in. That they've been coming quicker. Get rid of Nations League. I'm a fan of Nations League. I truly am. I'm not a fan of friendlies. I know you need them, and it makes sense, but I'd much rather take on CONCACAF nations in a. I'd rather play in the Nations League than not play in the Nations League. I still like friendlies, and I hope when we get friendlies, we get quality opposition. France, Netherlands is great, but Nations League is important to continue playing competitive football, and it just makes, I don't know, for me as a viewer and watching this national team trying to compete for a trophy, I think it's worth it. 100%. Nicely done there from Derek Cornelius. Nice little ball there. Larea is too reckless. No. I think Larea is going to be perfect for a game like this. Over under on Richie getting a red. I don't think Richie's gonna get a red. You guys can let me know. I'll say a yellow. I'll say Richie will pick up a yellow at some point in this match. Wish we started Jason Russell Rowe or another hungry youngster for Laren. Yeah, like I said, guys, for me, I just felt like Jesse Marsh wants to go with his guys right now. He's not wanting to get too many substitutions in. Oh, he did get a yellow for that. Sorry, guys. I was trying to fix the stream here, so I didn't even see Richie picked up a yellow. Here comes Jonathan David. Let me know in the chat, guys. Where do you want to see Jonathan David go this summer? The rumored clubs is Chelsea, Manchester United, Tottenham, and West Ham. But you guys can throw in other names as well. We know that there's been a couple clubs in Italy that have been linked to him, AC Milan, but that doesn't really look like it's got a lot of legs. I think for 25, 30 mil, we're going to see David probably go to the Prem because that is just a steal for them. But let me know where you want to see David go. I didn't even notice that. I had to let Alex out of the room and fix something on the back end here. And Richie picked up a yellow in the 20th. Well, that's not great. A match like this. So yeah, I'm going to say it went up quite a bit. I want to see David in the goals. 24 minutes in, I'm hoping so. Hey, JDD, just got here. I'm rooting for Canada from a Venezuelan American. Let's go. Very interesting, Venezuela American. Do you have one that you're pulling for a little bit more, Venezuela or the U.S.? Venezuela got off to an excellent start. 2-1 upset over Ecuador. Puts them in a really good position to try to get out of the group. They were one of those countries that I think were kind of flying under the radar a little bit. They've had a really, really impressive start to their World Cup qualifying campaign. And to see them get off to a hot start here is pretty good for Venezuela. So definitely wanted to keep an eye on. Makes that group very interesting with Mexico picking up 3 points as well. And you say both. Dream friendlies in October window. Would love to face AFCON opposition like South Korea. Dream friendlies. I would like, yeah, I could. South Korea would be cool. I'm trying to think what a dream. I don't know. Let me know what your guys' dream friendly would be for October. I'm trying to think of just a couple we haven't played before. Because I was about to say Japan. I'd be open for Japan too, but we did play them and they absolutely ran us over. It's a nice little ball there. Well defended. I don't know. I mean, any of the top African team I'd be down. Oh. I don't know, I'll say maybe Algeria could be one. Ivory Coast could be another one. But Peru's got a little bit more of the ball in the last few minutes here. Well defended. Since I speak Spanish, many Peruvians were making fun of Canada, calling them Peru premium. I think that red in the Venezuela-Ecuador match made a huge difference. It did, and like that's what happens in tournament football. You pick up a red card early in a game, and you end up losing against a team that you're the favorites in. It makes it very difficult to get out of the group. Ecuador probably pretty much have to win out. They have to win their next two matches, which is it's not an easy task against Mexico and Jamaica side, especially because Mexico's home, the home team at any stadium they go at. It's going to be difficult for them. And I think that they were a bit of a dark horse, I'd say, for a lot of supporters out there. Ecuador is a very good team. Oh, that's a good opportunity. Maxime Crepeau. Whew. Comes up big once again. Canada had I thought they had a they had more of the ball, but they had a bit of a sluggish start to this match. But in the last 5 minutes, Peru has had so much of the ball. Wide open. I don't know where the marking was there for Johnston. Wasn't the most dangerous shot, but that was a good save from Maxime Crepeau. Stands up big, gets a good palm to it. Out for a corner. Peru has stepped up their game. And Crepeau get a cramp off of that save. Oh my goodness. But once y'all beat them, let's call them poor Canada. That's karma. Cooling break coming up here, 28 minutes in, as you'd probably expect. This is Maxime Crepeau's tournament. It's another big save from Crepeau. He's been excellent all tournament long. Even in the friendly he played against France, he has just been a rock star. Massive save. Jonathan David earns his 50th cap today for Canada. Didn't even notice that. Congratulations to JD. Peru better win. They've been picking up the last few minutes. Had to create a big save out of Maxime Crepeau. Got a little stretch in, 30 minutes in. Canada is so overrated. I mean, they haven't looked very good in this match so far. It just seemed like it had a very slow pace to it. The Argentina game, both teams kind of came out and it was open, it was attacking, it was a very entertaining match. This game kind of came out a little sluggish. Canada had a little bit more of the ball. Had a couple odd looks here and there, but Peru have definitely woken up here. Had a really good chance. In offside, no. And here we go. This is where Canada, when Peru starts putting bodies forward like this, Canada could be lethal in transition, but they need a little bit better there. Canada has been living off a decent 2021 for years now. The thing is that this team has a lot of talent. Their World Cup qualifying campaign got a lot of interest in the sport in this country, which is incredible to see. Their World Cup display was a very humbling moment. But it could have been so different, you know? Like if we would have picked up those 3 points against Belgium, which I argue that we were the better team throughout, just didn't capitalize. And then from there, you know, a bit of a wake-up call with Croatia and even against Morocco. And then after that, I just thought it was just disappointing the way that the 2023 went for this team. But it seems like we got a bit of a pickup right now. And 30 minutes in, we just had a bit of a scare. But we have quality players playing in top leagues around the world, and they need to be able to put it together against a team like this. And here comes Liam Miller. Nice little ball. Good underlapping run from Eustachio. That's much better. A couple nervy minutes. Maybe because of the heat, we're going to see spells like that in this match, where Canada's going to have possession for 10, 15 minutes. Then it'll go to Peru's way a little bit. Maybe for 5 or so. It's kind of what we saw. Canada had a ton of the ball, and then maybe a little 5, 6, 7 minute spell there for Peru where they look dangerous. But Canada, good opportunity there. Have another corner kick coming up. Jordan says, get organized and control the game. Wow, it wasn't even a corner. Maybe the heat is getting to them. Mercedes-Benz is air conditioning. Very blah start. Yeah, this is not a very inspiring start so far. It is not. 2 shots on target right now for Peru, none for Canada, and no, a couple. I don't even know what to call them. No big opportunities coming Canada's way, but a couple looks there. Crepeau collects that, finds Maxime. Crepeau had a big save. Kone under a little bit of trouble right there. American here. My wife's country is Peru, but I'm back in Canada. Let's go, our maple syrup boys. Yes. Well, I appreciate that. I was always curious to see if the U.S. fans will be going for us or not. Are you just supporting CONCACAF? Is that what you're going against your wife's country there, Jacob? Ragnet finished first with Austria in front of France and Netherlands. You can see what the right manager can do with the team. Absolutely. And that's why I've said, like, again, for anyone who backs Peru, know that I've been very, very open about my respect for them. I do believe Canada's got a better team on paper, but I think that means absolutely nothing. And that, to your point right there, Austria definitely doesn't have a better team on paper than France or the Netherlands, and they top that group. That's a huge opportunity. That's a goal. Offside, though, I would assume. Offside by looks. It looked offside. But set pieces there, I don't know what happened. Is it offside? Oh yeah. So, I mean, you can't even look at anything there. He was way, way offside. So nobody lost him. No, Peru just scored, yeah, from a set piece, but it was offside, no goal. And quite a bit offside. It's hard to judge that set piece because he was, he was a good foot or two offside. I mean, from the angle they just showed, it didn't look close. They're still checking it. Jordan says, "Good Lord, I'm very uncomfortable." Am I missing something? They just showed the replay. It didn't even look like it was a question. No goal. Yeah, he was quite a bit offside. Sloppy boys. Smart foul there from Johnston. Do you think they should keep the current coach regardless of the performance in this Copa America? Yes, Jesse Marsch is going nowhere. Oh, man. Good little press there from Peru. A big opportunity. Sloppy from Canada. And there's Richie getting in there, track back. That's twice, though. Eustachio is just, I don't know if he loss of concentration, but he's had the ball on him. And it just like he wasn't looking down, and just it's very weird. No, it's not like Steph. But that was sloppy there from Canada. But no, Jesse Marsch is going to be our manager until at least the 2026 World Cup. I think that we got the signing right. I've been one of Jesse's biggest supporters. I think he fits the style with this team. I think he can get a lot out of them. I think he can bring them to that next level after what Herman's and the good work that Herman did here. Plus we needed, Canadian MLS teams support to help lock him in. So he's not going anywhere. Not doing poor. And it's not, I think it would be fair to, you're not going to spend that kind of money, bring him in and then sack him regardless. But even so, it's hard to judge him off the tournament. He hasn't had very many looks at this national team before he had to prep them for a major tournament like this. So the fact that, he's just coming into the job, he's spent a lot of time having conversations with players, getting to know the landscape. He's already familiar with it, which was nice. Another sloppy turnover there. Here comes Peru. I don't know what's going on. The guys are just falling apart. Kone. Yeah, I'm looking down at the chat. Sloppy. I'm wondering if the ball is sticky or something. If you just watched, I didn't show the replay there, from Kone, but I don't even know what that was. If they're just, it's so hot that they just can't stay concentrated, but are the balls just feeling weird off this pitch? I don't know. I don't know. But that was a very odd little spell there. Just get the half. It's kind of feeling that way as well. Canada has not created many chances. Foul there. What are you guys' takeaways so far? Put them in the chat. 37 minutes in. Honestly, a bit of a weird match so far. What are you guys' takeaways? What's coming to your mind? For me, I mean, Crepeau immediately jumps off again. Comes up with a big save. Looking tired and sloppy is probably another thing that comes to mind. Yeah, man. Like, I don't know. This is weird, man. It's just a weird little watch right now. Here comes Peru. Yeah, but guys, get your takeaways in. I would like to get to the half. Sloppy. Is that what your guys' takeaways are? Oh man. Let's see what you guys have to say. Easy turnovers, lackluster, uninspired. Kone, Larea, Miller have not looked good. I want Ali subbed in at halftime. Kone looks like Jesse Marsh's team, very frantic. So many mistakes. Kone is a walking turnover. I don't even know how to word Kone. Like, just anxious? Is that how do you guys would describe his performance so far? Which substitutions are you guys looking at? Wow. I think Peru's very, very lucky there not to be down. What do you guys think? Do you think that was a red? Think that was a red card? Wow. Do you guys think it was a red? Let me know in the chat. I think fresh legs are needed. I think Peru should be down to 10 men. Am I missing something? I don't get how that wasn't a red card. Just baiting it out. Disappointing half for Canada. Put a yes or a no, guys, in the chat. Was that a red card? I want to see what you guys think. He like put his head towards Johnston. I don't know, man. Yes. A lot of you guys are saying yes. It should have been a red. South American referees. I don't know, man. Like, I always read. Yeah, can't believe that wasn't red. I don't know. I don't know. But a big set piece coming up for Peru here. Peru have really dominated, I'd say, the last 20 minutes of this match, pretty much. Canada had a lot of the ball in the first 15, but they did nothing with it. But they should be down a man. I don't know. I don't know how VAR looked at that and decided that that's not a pen. And now he's over the ball at a set piece. Like that's what changes games right there. Big ball coming in. I've seen red cards for way less than that. That's it's a brutal call. Brutal call. Unbelievable. Like that is that's a headbutt, man. Like that's a brutal call. That's brutal. Peru got lucky, man. But they're bringing the pressure to Canada right now. Ooh. What did Johnson say to him? Doesn't matter. Like, man, like that's a red. They gave one to Zidane. I don't know. That's just dumb. Peru's bringing the game to us. Okay, I don't know. They just keep showing that. That's just... I'm just at a loss for words, man. Terrible call. People need to stop hanging onto almost beat Belgium. Actually lost. But I was just saying that... I mean, if you're referring to me, I don't know if you're referring to the chat. It was a... I didn't think Canada was good in the World Cup except for the match against Belgium. But the other two were brutal. Ooh. Big opportunity there from Lapadula. That was a really nice little set play there. That was close. Terrible game. Guys, give me a rating out of 10. How entertaining has this game been? How much have you enjoyed it? Because I've just seen a couple comments in a row saying horrible game, terrible game. Not impressed. I'm not enjoying this game at all. No. I'd probably give it enjoyment value 2. Canada's performance 4. Just tough watch. Canada do look half asleep, man. Like, are they tired? I think fresh legs are gonna need. What do you do at the half if you're John Herdman here? Like I said, he's been working these guys in training very, very hard. He's been pushing them. I've heard from multiple sources that like the training sessions are intense. And these guys don't look happy after them. And this heat is insane. You saying Richie needs to come off? Does well there. See what Larian can do. Nothing. Reminds me of Valor FC. Oh, that's a foul. Yes, it is. Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm trying to think of someone who could come on with some energy, man. Like, I think Kone is really struggling, but again, who do you bring on? Who do you possibly bring on for Kone in a match like this? Like, you need someone who can do it on both sides. I think the closest would be like a Chouanier. I don't know if I would trust Ali to come in there. Piet can obviously play the defensive side of things, but I don't know if I trust him to come in. I think Tejan could come on. I think Schaff could come on. With the energy and what I'd be looking for, I'd rather Russell Rowe up front. And there could be a wholesale of changes because this has just been an ugly, ugly half. Oh. Oh. Shit. That's a scary sight there, guys. For those of you guys who aren't watching or maybe just tuning in, I don't want to speculate or say anything I shouldn't. But a free kick was coming in, and it looked like a ref fell to the pitch. Camera was on it for a couple seconds. It looked like a very scary scene there. I don't know if it's like, again, I'm not going to say anything really on it. I don't know. I don't want to speculate anything. The camera was on it for like half a second and it just looked like he fell to the floor. Very scary scene. I'm hearing claps though. So I'm hoping everything's good and he got up. They're going to call halftime now. Hopefully it's just like to do, obviously with just the heat. But it looks like he's up. Yeah, it looks just to be a heat thing. That's good. Okay, because that could be a very, very scary scene. But that just shows how hot. I don't know if the camera should be on the poor guy. Man, it looks hot there. I think they said it was 35 at kickoff. Temperature is just going up. Scary sight there. But he looked, I think I don't think that ref can finish this game. They should definitely not make him. He looked out, but I don't know if they're going to go to the half yet. Canada did have a free kick. So I don't think they're going to call the half. But they're going to have to find a new. Was there a drinks break? There was. There was a drinks break at about the 28th minute. No, I don't think he's capable of carrying on. Definitely not. The camera went right back on the poor guy. Oh, is he okay? Yep. No, it looks like it was heat. Like it definitely looked like it was heat, man. They put I just didn't want to speculate on anything because we've seen stuff like this happen before, and it's horrible if it's something worse. It just looked like he had heat stroke or he passed out because of the heat or something like that. They put a little towel on him, try to cool him down. So all looks good with him. The crowd is giving him a nice round of applause. But I don't know. But Peru should still be down to 10 men, and I'm still salty about that. I just don't understand. Absolute joke from the fact that it went to VAR and they still decided that that wasn't a red card after he straight up just bonked heads with Johnson is a joke. Could have completely changed the way that this game was going. End of the half already. They added time to the second half. Call up Mark Goldbridge. Yeah. Yeah, they're gonna have a couple more minutes on, for sure. But they have a free kick coming up. Something in my eye. I don't know if you guys were in Southern Ontario today, but I was outside and it was windy as crap, and I just got dirt flowing in my eyes pretty much all day. I think it's just trying to come out. All right, we got a set piece coming up. Probably a minute or two to still play. Oh, brutal. Brutal. Davies. They did the exact same thing. It's like as soon as he sets it down, Davies just pumps it in. That was just a bad ball. The first one he did. I'm in BC, and that's okay. In Ontario here, it was very, very windy today. Marcus Lopez should absolutely have been sent off. I honestly didn't expect anything like this. This is really bad. I mean, it's a bad performance, but it still rubs you the wrong way. The fact that Peru should be down to 10 men right now. Canada desperately need this this halftime to come. Jesse needs to just kind of calm the guys down. That was just ugly, man. That was just an ugly, ugly game. As poor as you can get. Horrible game. Ridiculous game. Terribly bad. A lot of people are not happy. Let's get some comments in. I'm going to go over to back to StreamYard. We're going to get some of you guys' comments up on stream. Let me know your guys' takeaways. I'll go over my takeaways very quickly for you guys. We'll get some of your guys' takeaways up here. Pump them into the chat. All right, my takeaways. I thought Crepeau was great again. I mean, he just continues to impress me. France, Argentina, and now Peru. We needed him to come up big, and he did. He just continues to answer, and I absolutely love it. I think Kone looks way off. I don't know if it's nerves, if it's he's running out of gas, he's tired. I don't know what's going on, but I think Kone was probably one of the worst players on the pitch for Canada. The boys look sloppy. They look tired. It was, I mean, I don't know. It's as ugly as a game as you're going to get. I would like to think fresh legs are needed. And I'm going to talk with you guys in the chat here about, who comes on. I would like to see Kone come off just because he is on the yellow and he was just, unfortunately, he was just awful in that half. It's a shame for a player who we expect so much of from this tournament, but that was just bad. And then the biggest takeaway from me is Peru should be down to 10 men. Awful from the referee. Embarrassing from the referee. I don't get how it goes to VAR like that, and it doesn't. I don't know. But let's get to your guys' comments. Let's get to your guys' thoughts and opinions, and we will chat during the break. All right, let's go. Kone looks tired and slow. Yes, but here's the question, the biggest question I have for you guys. Who comes on for Kone? If he's substituted. Kone is on a yellow, which means if he gets a yellow in this match, he's suspended for Chile. So who comes on? Who do you guys should trust to come on and play at that kind of double pivot? Because the only natural replacement for me is Piet. I don't think Osorio can do that job. I don't think Ahmed could do that job. you could argue Chouanier could do that job, and I would get that. So for me, if you're looking to take Kone off, I would look at Chouanier. But it's, man, it's tough. It's tough. I don't know if take off Kone or not. Jordan saying Ali Ahmed, not trusting Piet. Why not try Chouanier? That's who I would go with if we're taking off Kone, which at this point, I think we need to. You know, he's on the yellow. Maybe he could use a little bit of rest. I'm torn. I don't know. Our CM depth is poor. I'll rephrase it a little bit. Our CDM depth is poor. We don't have a lot of it. We have some good midfielders. Ali Ahmed's a great midfielder. Chouanier's a good midfielder. Osorio can do a role there. But in terms of pure number sixes, we have you. I mean, Eustáquio is, you can even argue, is an 8 playing as a 6, but Piet's a 6. I just don't trust him to come on right now. A lot of you guys are going Chouanier, and I agree. I wouldn't go Osorio either. I just don't think he can do that job. For VAR to get involved, doesn't it have to be a clear and obvious error? Yeah. Usually VAR doesn't mean that the referee has to go with the decision of VAR, but usually when VAR comes in like that, it's because they believe that there's a clear and obvious mistake. And I don't understand how they looked at that and didn't give a red card. That was just a brutal decision. And honestly, whether Canada deserved that break or not, it's the laws of the game. It's a red card, and Canada should be playing up a man right now. Canada was not the better team in that half at all. But that's not the point. The point is that was a deserving red card, and we would be at a big advantage right now going into the second half up a man. And because they didn't do it, I don't know. Got away from it. Unlucky. The ref is a joke. Kone looks tired and slow. Kone coming on for Chouanier. We need Schaffelberg. I would like to see Schaff come on. I'm just trying to think of what Jesse may do and what I like to see. The heat appears to be affecting Canada a lot more than Peru. Definitely. 100%. At times, it just looks like we're losing concentration. And like I said, I don't know if it's the heat, if it's, it's the environment. I don't know what's going on, but there was like 4 or 5 different times the ball, it was just a simple pass to Eustáquio and Kone, 2 guys that you trust to have the ball at their feet to make the right decision or just to simply receive a pass. And I don't know. I can't explain it. It's like the ball's going through them. They're not, the heat is definitely impacting them. And I get it. I mean, it's hot. I can't imagine playing in 38, 35, whatever it is, degrees. That is insane. I mean, the poor ref passed out because of it. But I still expect more. I mean, you need to be dialed in. I don't know, but I guess it happens. If the mind goes, the legs go, and everything goes. And that's just what it looks like right now for a couple of these players. And unfortunately for Kone, I'm looking at him quite a bit. Canada does need to win. A point keeps them alive, but this is the game where we expected to pick up 3. Which is also laughable that VAR is somehow involved. Put your guys' potential substitutions into the chat because I think Canada absolutely needs some. This game is not going our way. Yes, we could have been up a man. It'd be against the run of play because Peru are making it much more difficult on us now, especially in that last 20 minutes. I would like to see some fresh legs, and I'd do it. I would put on Chouanier for Kone. That is what I would do. I didn't think I'd say that because I don't think that anyone can really do what Kone and Eustáquio can do together, but I'm not seeing it on the pitch. So, I mean, unless Jesse Marsh thinks that was just, he could get a little bit of energy back in Kone and get some concentration back, then fine. But if not, he wasn't great against Argentina, and he's been, I'd say arguably he's looked even more off in this match right now. There's not a natural plan B, and I'd be looking at Chouanier. I don't expect it, though, just to be clear. I don't think Jesse Marsh is going to take off Kone. But I don't know. I wouldn't put on Piet for him. Put Schaff in. So who do you take off for Schaff? I mean, I'd maybe look to take off Leray. He's on a yellow. We gave him the start. You could put Davies back to left back, move Liam back over to left mid, try to see if those two can come up with some goods. I was surprised that they actually split those two up. I thought Liam Miller and Alphonso Davies caused some pretty big problems against Argentina in that first half. I know it didn't carry out in the second half, but now against a team like Peru, maybe you'd back those two to be able to really run at this Peru back line. So I would like to maybe see them put back together and then take off Larrea, put Schaffelberg in, and have him running down the right. But you could also take off Liam Miller if you wanted to and put on Tajon Buchanan, who we also have off the bench. But we need some energy into this game. I think Chouanier could do it if Jesse's going to demand the ball. You know, putting on Ali Ahmed for Kone is a huge risk to me. But I mean, as things go right now, I think Peru are probably the favorites to pick up the goal. We need to shake something up here. Miller's been non-existent. I thought he's had about the same performance as Buchanan did last match. Made a couple runs. You know, did some work off the ball. You know, you can't question Liam's effort. You can't question Tajon's either in the Argentina match. It's one of those games. It's not happening for them. So I think those are maybe two easy substitutions. But from what we've seen from Jesse, I don't know. I'm not like I don't know. I don't know what to expect. If there's going to be a substitution at all. I'm just trying to talk with you guys. I know that I've seen a lot of the same here. Throw Theo on for Laren. We could do a wholesale of changes. I don't know. I'm very curious. I'm curious to see what Jesse's gonna do, because this was ugly. This was such an ugly half, and the guys look exhausted. So if I'm looking at this team right now, I'm just gonna quickly do it. I'm gonna get into some more comments. I would leave Johnston, Bombito, Cornelius. I would take out Richie. So, like I said, Shaq could come on for him. I'd put Davies at left back. I'd then bring on probably Buchanan for maybe Liam Miller. But you don't have to. I'd maybe try out Liam for a little bit down the left-hand side with Davies. I think I would take off Kone for Chouanier. I don't know, a different profile. I think Russell Rowe could be a good little fit, or Theo Bair as well in this game. But, I mean, that's just so many substitutions, and that doesn't really seem like Jesse. So, more than likely, we're not going to see any substitutions at halftime. Although Kone is for some reason sticking out to me. But again, I don't know. What's going on? We looked awful. Haven't generated a single quality chance. No, we have not. They just seem gassed, man. They seem gassed pretty much from even when they had possession in the opening 10, 15 minutes, there was no willingness to create. They just had the ball for possession's sake. That's all it looked like. And then all of a sudden, Peru got the ball and said, okay, we can run at this Canadian team. We can tire them even further. And it just kind of turned into a little bloodbath where it was just all Peru, all one-way traffic. And then we had the opportunity to switch the game when the red card came in. VAR was taking a nap. I don't know what happened. And now Peru, fully strength with confidence, is going to go in the second half thinking they can win this. And I think they should. If I was a Peru fan right now, I'd feel a lot more confident than I am right now being a Canadian fan. The only thing I can think is, like I said, it's hot there. These players are just coming off of a big game against Argentina. Maybe it's time to look at the bench. That's something obvious there. But Jesse needs to switch something up here. And we already know how things are going to go in the second half. I definitely feel that multiple changes will be made here. I think multiple changes will be made. I don't know. I can't confidently say that I'm expecting to see changes. The weather does have a big impact on that. And like a lot of you guys are saying in the chat, the Peru players they're handling it a lot better than these Canadian players are. Bad half, eeks. Yeah, VAR is a joke. Can someone explain why Miller switched sides? The combination with Davies was working well. I thought that as well. That's why I said I would at halftime. I don't think he's going to take off Kone. I do think Richie Larrea could be I think Buchanan could come on for Richie at halftime. I think that would make sense. I don't think Richie's looked overly good. He's on a yellow right now with the way that this game's going to go. And then I would just put it back to the starting 11 for Argentina. Buchanan down the right, Davies and Miller back in their positions, and then see if you can get some chemistry going there. I was excited to see Liam Miller get another chance, but I wanted to see him in the same position with Davies because I thought that they created some quality chances against Argentina. So you would imagine that they could maybe do so against Peru, where, like I mentioned, since Liam was on the right-hand side, he was just kind of quiet. Didn't have a lot of looks, and just very similar kind of performance to Buchanan's match against Argentina. That was a big VAR fail. That's not a red, Josh. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. 100% it is. I've seen so many comments online and through here. I don't think there's a way it's not a red. And VAR got involved because they thought there was an obvious mistake. He clearly headbutted Alistair Johnston. It makes no sense. By the letter of the law, it's a red card. I am flabbergasted. You can apparently just headbutt people now. They fly now? They fly now. It's Star Wars. Watching the Acolyte tonight for anyone who cares. I agree for Kone. That said, Larea's yellow scares me. Yeah. I was just venting here for you guys. I'm 50-50. I expect Jesse to do one of two things. One, nothing, and just continue with the starting 11. That wouldn't surprise me. But two, I could see Richie coming. That's like the one substitution I'm feeling. But let me know what you guys think. I'd like more. Kone has definitely been poor. But it just scares me. I just don't trust right now in a game like this. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think Chouanier, if you did make that substitution, would bring in energy. And that's one thing that we know he can bring in. And I think he can do both sides of the ball, similar to Kone, where Piet would be as a pure 6, maybe a little more freedom for Eustachio, but I just don't know if I want Piet coming on this early in this heat. Will we survive? I don't know. I think Schaffelberg would bring in some energy, man. I think that he's an obvious one. Him, Buchanan are the two most obvious substitutions right now. Go back and play hockey. You're wild. You're wild. You can't headbutt people. You just can't. There's no way. Spam the chat right now, guys. Let's see. Red card, yes or no? If you think it was a red card, put yes. If you don't think it was a red card, put no. And we'll see what you guys think. Because I've only seen a couple. Only red in Canada. You guys are mad. Schaff, yes, but not yet. 50th, 60th minute. Schaffelberg, Buchanan, yeah. South American refs are extremely biased, Josh. It's their blood to hype up. You need Chouanier to change things up. Add Shafi and Tajon. Okay, I'm just going through the comments now, so you guys are saying a lot of what I've been saying. So you guys seem to be somewhat on the same page. Those are the three players that come to mind right away. I only expect one substitution, if any, and I'm looking at Richie. I think you have to pull Richie soon. We're playing down to the competition. I mean, we are, but it's not even like we started strong. Like I said, we started the game with the ball, with possession, but we looked like we had no will to do anything with it. It looked, I don't know. It looked like we weren't up for the game. It's like we just rolled out of bed and we're going for a kickabout. That's what it looked like when we had possession, when we were creating a few chances. It was just very laid back, and maybe that was planned because of the heat to, just when we had possession, just to play it cool, slow build up, look for your chances. With the heat, fine. But once we lost possession and Peru started coming in the game, they didn't play that way. They were taking it to us, and then I think that scared us. And then I don't know if then the heat and the nerves are getting in your mind, but you're making mistakes. There was a sequence about 5 minutes where not a single pass, I don't think, connected. It was just sloppiness and running over the ball and falling over the ball and just passing it to nobody. And Peru was just taking the game to us. Canada needs to slow the game down. Peru is pressing high, and Canada is trying to rush the ball out of their half, which is leading to some errors. I agree. Sub out the ref. Come on, Canada. Forget quality chances. We can't even maintain possession. Yeah. We haven't had a quality chance. We haven't had a chance. Have some shots. All right. We're back underway. A lot of I'd say more so. More of you guys said that. More of you guys said that it was a red card too, by the way. So I'm just gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it at that. And there was a triple substitution. So shut my mouth. Sorry, I have to fast forward, guys. I was behind a little bit. No, there wasn't. No substitutions at halftime. Was there substitutions or not? Am I missing something? I was looking at the app. Okay, yeah, there is substitutions. Who came on? I missed it. Let me know in the chat, guys, who came on for the 3 subs. Then I'll try to put together what I see Kamal for Cornelius, makes sense. I see Azorio. So sorry, guys, my stream was a little behind. I'm at 47 minutes and 7 seconds, 8 seconds, 9 seconds. So I missed the... All right, so Schaffelberg, Azorio, and Miller came on. The mullet man's on. So who came off? Cornelius, Liam Miller, and Kone. All right, so Canada is lined up right now in the 4-2-2. Crepeau is the keeper. Right back is Johnston. The 2 center backs is Bombito and Kamal Miller, who came on for Cornelius. Left back is Larea. Is that right? Left back is Richie Larea. I'm lost. I don't know. Gotta give me a sec to try to figure this out. Yeah. You're 30 seconds behind. Yeah, that was my bad, guys. So no, left back looks like it's Davies. What do you guys think of the substitutions? Do you like them? All right, I need another look here. What were the substitutions? There we go. All right, let's take a look. So I think they switch up the shape. That's what I was missing here. So I believe... Yeah, I think they switch up the shape. I think they're playing in a 3-4-3. So the keeper's Crepeau, right wing back's Larea, outside right center back is Johnston, central center back is Bombito, outside left center back's Kamal Miller, left wing back's Davies, Eustachio and Azorio are 2 midfielders. So a huge opportunity here for Azorio. He's going to be asked to do a little bit more on the defensive side of things. So I'm fascinated to see how that works. But they went into a back 3, so a little bit more coverage there. Laren's the striker. David went out to the right, and Schaffelberg's on the left. So we got that figured out. A 3-4-3. Switches up the shape for Jesse Marsh. Very, very intriguing. I like it, but I would have went with Chouanier in the midfield and not Azorio. Like I said, Miller for Cornelius is an easy straight swap. Schaffelberg for Liam Miller is a straight swap. You switched up the shape a bit. And then you have Azorio coming on for Kone, which I think was the right decision to take off Kone. I really do. And Schaffelberg's already coming on with a little bit of energy here. Like I said, I don't know about Azorio on the defensive side of the ball. With fresh legs starting the half, you want to score within the first 10 minutes. Yeah, and Azorio, quick foul already. Yeah, I like the change of shape already. Jesse needed to do something. I mean, he couldn't have looked at that half and been like, this is working out. I think he needed to ask his players to dig a little deeper, get the concentration back going. And then some fresh legs will help. And now the change of shape. Oh, and that's a foul for sure. Zorio just proved your point. It's just he's like, he's an 8 to a 10, but mostly a 10. That's what Zorio is. Chouanier can play a little bit deeper, like deeper than Zorio. And when you only have Eustachio, I just don't think those two are going to complement each other very well. But if Canada's chasing the game, looking for opportunities, then Zorio can become useful. It's just it's not the move I would have looked to do. I think Chouanier is better for this system. I think he'll cover more ground. He's better on the defensive side of the ball. It would have been easier for him to come in that midfield and do what Jesse's asking instead of Zorio. That's just my opinion. So we'll see. Zorio just got caught out there with a little foul. But already this looks a little bit better. From a tactical perspective, the change of shape has already helped. They've pushed the battle up the pitch, which should give the team a little bit more time to recover. Absolutely. And with that, they have the ball. David, I want to see them have a little bit of the possession here. Here comes Richie down the right-hand side. Steph, Johnston. We're getting pressed so hard. Boy, AJ. No. Yes. Okay. Sorry. That was better. Peru is pressing them so hard though. Like the Heat just, I don't know, man, doesn't seem to be bugging them that much. They're going at our players, making it very difficult to string a few passes together. If you get pressed, you got to play some triangles quickly. And like I said, I just talked about why I don't think Zorio would fit. But in situations like that, a little further up the pitch, when they're getting pressed, when they're looking for a quick little 1-2, Zorio can do that. He can find that little killer pass. But it's just whether we have more of the ball or not. And when we don't have the ball, that's when I think Chouanier would have been a little bit more useful. Nicely done there from Kyle Aaron. Oh, Schaff! No, there's nobody there! Oh, it was offside anyways, but he was gone. 30-degree weather is killing us. Yeah, it doesn't look fun. I think Canada's playing in a 3-4-3, guys. Turn it into the back three. Yeah, it's a clear back three. That's offside. Offside. Ah, boy, cripple. Yeah, they're playing 3-4-3. Davies, Larea, wing backs. Johnson, Bombito, Miller, the three center backs. Zorio. Ooh. Here's a red card coming. No, yellow. We're getting chippy. Perfect subs. No, it says 4-2-3-1. Yeah, but they're not playing in a 4-2-3-1. Like you can clearly see, like, at least when they're defending. I see when they're attacking really too. Like you can see it. It's like I said, it's Crepeau and net, Johnston, Bombito, Cornelius, two wing backs is Larea, Davies, Eustachio, Zorio, the two midfielders, and then you got that front three of Schaffelberg, David on right wing, and then David up front. That is a red card, man. That's a red card. Yes, sir. That's a red card. That's a horrible challenge. horrible challenge. That's a red card. Could have broke his... They're checking it. This would be big. That is such a bad challenge, man. Oh, man. That's not a red. Oh. Dude, that is a red card. %100 red. That is a horrible challenge. Oh. Huge opportunity here for Canada. That is such an ugly... You guys surprised at all that there's... That's a red. Here it comes. I don't understand that. No yellow. Here's the red. There we go. Now it turns. Huge opportunity here for Canada. The red card does come so early. So early into the half. That was such an ugly challenge, man. Literally makes your stomach turn. Oh, all right. Well, now let's see what Canada can do. That was an awful challenge, though, man. He's lucky he didn't break Schaffelberg's leg. All right. Tables turn. Canada now is up a man, and we need a goal. Let's go. All right, guys, let me know in the chat. Now the Osorio substitution makes more sense. I mean, it didn't make, like, to me, it didn't make a lot of sense, but right now it works. You're going to now, as you should, have way more of the ball. Peru is not going to press you as hard down a man, and someone like Osorio can become a much more useful player than a Chouanier was. So Osorio has a good opportunity here. And I would honestly rather him on the pitch up a man than I would Chouanier. So, you know, it took 14 minutes. What's going on now? It's a frantic game. Let's go, Canada are back in the game, and if Chile gets beaten bad enough by Argentina, then Canada have a good chance. Thank you, about time. Now Peru will park the bus, and Canada will have to be careful not to get hit on the counter. Canada needs to play smart with the possession and take its time. Yeah, they have time. They got 30-plus minutes. But Peru are going to make this a long... I mean, this 30 minutes is going to turn to 40 minutes quite easily. Kelly tunes in and says, so dangerous. Is Schaff okay? Yeah, he looks good. Gordo's here and says, new game. The Osorio sub worked out, just like he drew it up. It does. Like, I genuinely mean that. The Osorio substitution looks so much better right now because Osorio is much more useful in this game. This is a weird game. Yeah, we're going to be here for a long time, man. It's not even a minute. Oh, that's an ugly challenge. I just showed it again. Oof. Peru will do everything they can to stop the flow of the game. Yeah, and they've done that a minute in. It hasn't been a minute since the red card, and Galacia went down with cramp. I don't even know. Peru may be down to 8 by the end of the game. Here comes the time wasting. What substitutions would you guys look at next? Let's say it stays 0-0 for 10 or so minutes. Who do you think could come off the bench next? We're playing in a 3-4-3. So I think Canada maybe... Like, I would look at a Buchanan now for Richie Laray. I think that's an obvious one. Anyone else? That'd be substitution number 4, Buchanan for Larea. And then, I don't know, like, get a striker in there at some point. Maybe your Bear, probably a Bear for a game like this. Theo in for Kyle Aaron. Those are kind of the two I'm looking at. I think Buchanan for Richie Larea makes sense. And I would probably put Bear in, probably not yet. But at some point, it could be for David, it could be for Laren. They're both super quiet. Let's see if we can score a goal. First goal ever at Copa America. Okay, maybe Laren can go. Come on, Davies. Nice ball. Oh! That's where Buchanan would be so much more useful. That's a good ball from David, man. That's a really good ball, but Richie's not the guy you really want in that position. This has barely been a game at all. This has been ugly, man. I don't know, man, but like Peru's entire game is now going to change. Like Canada will have more time on the ball, more time to relax, more time to build up. There'll be more space out there. Like this is an opportunity. And it should just be a little bit of life for Canada. It's been an ugly game. Peru have made it difficult. Like we all knew they were going to. Schaffelberg ready to light it up. Feeling anxious. Nice ball. Come on, Schaff. The best fight I've ever watched. Come on, Steph. Come on. Just like they're all missing a step. Miller is giving the possession up like it's... I don't want to be too hard on Kamal, but they just need to get a little bit of possession here. Not punt it up the pitch for no good reason. Oh, is that Jason Russell Rowe I see? No, it's not. It's Tajon Buchanan. All right, I'm expecting Buchanan to come on for Richie. Which, as we would assume, is the right call. Come on, play the ball, Davies. There we go. A little bit of space. Yeah, it looks like next sub coming in is Tajon. I'd be surprised if it was anybody else but Richie. Holy crap, guys. Like, you can't even put together a single pass. And now a foul. And yellow? No. That's right there. It literally just sums up this entire game. No pressure whatsoever. And Steph with an easy ball. For some reason, he could have probably put it on the deck, but he just punts it at David. And David just kind of like lets it run and turns it over, and Peru win a foul. This is such an ugly match, but Buchanan's just been brought on. Larea comes off. We all expected that. And I'm excited. I'm hoping Taejong can come up big here. Four substitutions used for Jesse Marsh. And we've been up a man for about 10 minutes. And you can't really tell yet. As we go along once more. That's a really nice ball from Johnson, though. Beautiful ball. Oh. That was a beautiful ball from Schaffelberg. Look at that. That is such a good ball. Well defended. Oh, no, it wasn't even defended. Laren just missed it. Schaff in open space. Schaff looks like our most dangerous player. He looked like our most dangerous player in the time he was on the pitch against Argentina. He looks like our most dangerous player now. Who's got the power play here? Canada. They're up a man for the remainder of the match. The old almost 30-minute penalty. All right. Now, like, just calm some things down here. Don't be so rushed. The last one was nice. Johnson did pick out a nice pass, and it was a good opportunity. But let's feel the ball a little bit. There's more space. Peru shouldn't be on you. There we go. There we go. Oh, okay, there we go. Davies. Steph. Holy guys. All right, he wins it. That's brutal. Kyle Laren is remarkably ineffective. I just think it's concentration, man. Like these guys can't even make a pass. That's better. That's much better. Oh, it's not even about making the pass, it's just receiving it. Johnston! My man! Oh. It's just they're just making it look difficult. I don't know how else to put it. I could probably count 10 different times in this match that a simple ball to someone with no pressure wasn't received properly, if that makes sense. It's like the ball slid under their foot or they took a bad touch. I don't understand. I don't understand it. Like, the reason they're not building up and making any type of attack is because they can't string a few passes together here. They're doing it to themselves. They're not... That cross ended up in the back of Marcetti's Ben. Yeah, that was not great from Johnston. Who, again, Johnston is an excellent crosser of the ball. Like, that is not... When he's in a position like that, you expect that to be a quality ball. The only player right now, honestly, the only player on the pitch right now who I'd like to have the ball in the final third is Jacob Schaffelberg. That one ball he put in for Laren was... Oh, that's a nice ball from Davies, though. JD... It's a little better. That was a quality ball from Schaffelberg. And Laren just, unfortunately, couldn't finish it. That's more like it. A little bit of possession here. Look for Schaff. There we go. To the guy we want. No, another. Oh, it's another beautiful ball. Give the ball to Shaft. That's the game plan. The only little wrestle match there on Laren. Great cross. Shaft looks excellent, man. Like I said, I genuinely think he's the only player right now that I trust having the ball in a dangerous position. He's put in 2 quality crosses. He's making the right runs. He's finding space. His stock is rising, man, right now in Copa America. And I don't think anyone else can really say that except for Crepeau. Crepeau hasn't really done anything in the second half. But he had a really strong first half. I don't think he's had we haven't even had a shot on target. Crepeau's only had 2 saves. They're both good saves. Here comes Peru with a little bit of pressure, but Kamal Miller. When players can't string passes together, it means they have heavy legs. Yeah. No, I said that like 20 minutes ago, and I was just flabbergasted by the amount of times a simple ball to someone who has no pressure on them, and Canada can't string those passes together. Like, it has to come mentally, just not being able to receive a pass, and that goes to heavy legs. I 100% agree. Right, that's better from Kyle Laren. That's really good from Kyle Laren. Shaft, put it away! Yes! Let's go! Let's go! JD! Oh my God, let's go. What a ball once again from Jacob. Just tweeted out. Jacob Schaffelberg is the only one who looks like he's gonna... Oh... First goal under Jesse Marsh. All created from Jacob Schaffelberg. I love it. 1-0 Canada. David needed that one. That is right. Jonathan David with Canada's first ever Copa America goal and the first goal under Marsh. But let's be honest, guys. It was all created from Jacob Schaffelberg. Oh, baby. What a finish. Now go to my beloved Chelsea. So I can watch you each and every week with just a little bit of passion around that as well. Let's go. God, we needed that. We needed that. I literally just tweeted out a minute ago. Just give the ball to Jacob Schaffelberg. Ha! I knew David would score. Oh, man. That's big. That's big. This has been one of the ugliest games I've ever seen in my life. Oh, man. Oh, man. So Jacob Schaffelberg is, I mean, if I'm a team in Europe keeping an eye on this tournament, if you watch Jacob Schaffelberg and what he's done against Argentina. He came off the bench, and he was the only player really in that match that was asking questions of the Argentina back line. And then he comes on against Peru, and I just said he's the only player I wanted to see have the ball. Nobody else I trusted putting in a ball. He put in 2 quality balls, like perfect balls. No one else was doing that today. He's been finding space, he's been making the right runs, and then he comes in here and to take the ball in stride the way he did, to have his the awareness to make that pass so quickly, so perfectly. Here he comes again. That wasn't the great. It was the right idea. And then he puts in a beautiful ball for Jonathan David to finish. I mean, it's hard to not say the guy needs to start, but his performances are coming off the bench, running at tired legs. Oh, man. I love him. I love him. I think Schaffelberg's 24, for anyone asking in the chat. And Cloak, like I said, Cloak put out a little look at Canada now. They're kind of feels like some of the stress is off of them. As I say that, Davies gives the ball away. I think Cloak put out an article saying some clubs from Germany, Belgium, and the Netherlands are all kind of watching Schaff. Schaff would look good for Leicester. I don't know if I want him to go to Leicester. I don't know if I want him to go to the Prem. I think top 5 league, Bundesliga for sure, would be one where I think he would be great in. Look at Kamal. Kamal. Yeah. I was looking a little slow there. But I think the Netherlands, and I think a move to Belgium could be a really good fit for him. There's a lot of good clubs there. Who was the assist for the club? It was Schaffelberg. Schaff came on as a sub, and he just, I don't know, man. He's just magical. He's just a magical guy. Jonathan David, man. But that's the finish you need to, in that position like that. Cool as you like. I loved over the last couple watch alongs we did. I always see people refer to Schaffelberg as 14 because they're just not very aware. They're not aware of his game. Schaffelberg is a Bundesliga player all day. I love it. Football lives. I love it. No, I agree. Like I said, if he's going to a top 5 league, for me, it's really only the Bundesliga. I think he could fit at a few different clubs there. But if it's not a top 5 league, Belgium and the Netherlands could both be good options. But what a performance. Schaff is the only Canadian player outside of David Davies that is any good. Well, that's not true. But in this match, I'd say he's the only player that's done much of anything. David's been quiet, but when the time came, we know the man can put the ball in the back of the net. I see Schaff in Holland, Germany, or Italy. We'll have to wait and see, man. This is the big opportunity for a lot of Canadian players at a major tournament like this. I mean, we saw it at the World Cup. Kone, Buchanan. Guys will get moves. And, you know, a lot of them are being linked to clubs right now. A lot. Kone is being linked to Marseille. Bombito to Lyon. Schaff to a couple different leagues. David to Chelsea, Tottenham, United, West Ham. And here he comes again. Woo! Wins a corner. Not Leicester. Steve Cooper doesn't like Canadians. Jesse Marsh got it right with the substitutions. Yes, he did. Jacob Schaffelberg is just a stud, man. Just puts me at a loss for words. And well done from Bombito, who's been quality at the back as well. JD. Oh, good ball. Ah. Oh, there we go. There's the speed you want from Davies. To Schaff. Once again. No! This is where Zorio can be in a little trouble. Oh, as I say that, he shuts Josh up. Well done, Ozo. Well done. Well done. That's an excellent time to break up potential counter. Canada's calmed down since the goal, though. They absolutely have. And maybe Peru's running out of legs a little bit. I mean, you know, they're down a man, and they were pressing Canada for long periods of this match. Oh, I just felt like a lot of relief once David put the ball in the back of the net there. Tanny. Okay, for Kyle Aaron. Interesting. Tanny Oluwasi. Not Theo Bear, not Jason Russell Rowe. Tanny Oluwasi is coming on. Interesting. I mean, I like it. I think Tanny's been excellent for Minnesota United, so much so that he worked his way into that friendly camp, worked his way right onto the Copa America squad, and now it seems like he's striker number 3 off the bench after David and Laren. Laren comes off, Tanny Oluwasi comes on, and that's the final substitution now for Canada. What do you guys think about that? Tanny kind of being looked at as that third striker and ahead of Bear and Russell Rowe. Tanny's come a long way, man. Quite the journey. I love this. New blood up front. Look at Jonathan David's finish. Look at that. Oh, I love it. Oh, man. You guys, let me know. Do you start Shaft next match? Is that you think that's gonna come? Clinical. Schaffelberg should definitely start. At this point, I don't care if he's known as a super sub. I agree. I think Schaff needs to start too. I don't see why not. Schaff is not afraid. I feel like because he's so good coming off the bench, you know, maybe Jesse's like, I need him. He's my secret little weapon here. But at the same time, I don't know, man. If I'm Schaffelberg, I want to start. I play the sport. I know what it's like. I don't care. I don't want to be the super sub. I want to be the guy to start. But I still have a feeling that Jesse might not go for it. Nicely done. Oh, boys. There we go. Nicely done. Look at Davies. Spread. Oh, yes. Yes, Davies. He's got the fitness. He's got the legs still. Nice ball. Oh, Tanny! Oh. Told you I'll see you in the semifinals. Barca Boys loves it. I still like him as an electric sub to wake up the team. It's what it feels like at times, man. It's what it feels like at times. And look at him go, man! Look at him go! Oh, man. Just love his game. Not afraid. Ah. Dejan. David. Oh, JD. Oh, no. Oh, that was a huge chance. Just whiffed it. After that, it's no foul. Oh, come on, Miller, man. Crepeau, well done. Bombito. Oh, be careful, Shaft. There you go. Run into some space. Look at Tanny. Look at Tanny. Ah. Oh, Tanny! Oh, no! No! Oh, it was so good from Tanny. Kamal Miller scares the crap out of me, though, man. Oh. He cannot run. I mean, it was a tight angle. He would have had to, like, I don't know. Take another look at it. Look at the speed, though, on Tanny, man. Well done. But he had all the time in the world. Oh, he should have just rounded the keeper. Oh, he should have rounded the keeper there. Oh, so take a look at Buchanan. No, why would you? Why would you look at Buchanan when Schaffelberg's there? And once again, man. Oh, it's just quality. He's just nothing but quality. That is like five. That is 5 beautiful crosses I've seen from Schaffelberg this game. If we had better finishing, we definitely could have put a couple more away here. But wow, man. Oh, that's a foul. Ref. I start Shaft next game. 100%. Jacob Schaffelberg is a menace. $89 minutes. I don't know how much injury time there's going to be. 17 minutes? Oh. Look at it. Foul. It's a foul for sure. 7 minutes. 7 minutes. Oh. I wish Tanny would have walked that in the net. Oh my God, Crepeau! That's a foul. Copa has been absolutely excellent this tournament. And what a save, man. At such an important time. Oh. You know. Oh, well done, Eustachio. Cleverly wins a goal kick. Oh, man. What a save. What a save from Copa. Bombito, give me guys' rating on Bombito. I think Bombito has been excellent so far this match. See, now get some possession here. Look at Bombito. No foul. No way. That was soft. Peru's manager looks crazy. Huge save from Copa. Huge save. You need goaltending in a tournament like this, dude. Absolutely. Copa's been honestly a rock star. But Bombito with a bit of a soft call. Oh, once again! Maxime Copa! Oh, man. What else can you say about him? Crepeau is already on double figures for saves in this tournament. Too much. I mean, you know, he's been busy. It looks that way. Come on, Davies. This is where we want you. This is where we get you. Look at it. Come on, play it out. Play it out. There we go. Well done, Davies. David. Oh, little juke. Ah. There we go. Kill this out. 96th minute. Shaft. I don't know if I want Shaft in the corner. Guys. That was excellent from Davies, man. Excellent. Bombito. Miller, get it there. Yes. Get there, David. Come on, yes. Just settle. Foul. Foul. Yes, that's the game. Let's go. Statement. Oh, man. Oh, I feel done. I feel done. I could be done. What a win. What a win. Drop a W in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Canada pick up 3 points. And they're fighting. Game 3 will matter. I dropped like 3 W's in the chat. 4 W's in the chat. I'm just dropping nothing but W's in the chat. Oh, wow. I feel spent. It wasn't pretty, okay? Let's be honest. It wasn't pretty. The red card was a huge reason why we were able to turn this around. But there was a lot to still like from that, man. That was a character performance in incredibly difficult weather. Tired legs, you could see it. It was sloppy from start to finish, but they kept a clean sheet. They found some really good moments from players stepping up big. Maxime Crepeau with a massive performance, probably the man of the match for me. Jacob Schaffelberg had 5 quality crosses throughout this match. He picked up an important assist. We saw David come up and put the ball in the back of the net when it mattered the most. There's huge question marks. I got the prediction right, 1-0. Shout out to Josh and Alex as well. It's just, it's awesome, man. It's just such a good feeling. First win at a major tournament, right? Yeah, that's the first win at a major tournament. I'm out of breath. It's awesome. Let's see what you guys are saying. We're gonna wrap up the watch along soon. Post game show is coming on after this. I already see Adam Jenkins hanging out in the background, so. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. A lot of W's coming in. Not a lot of quality in that match. It wasn't, but you know what? We found a way, man. JD is the man. Schaffelberg was pretty. I think that's a good way. I think that's a good way of putting it. Big win, statement win. This was a Canada I wanted to see. I don't know if I wanted to see. Like, I mean, we knew it was going to be cagey. We knew that it was going to be ugly. Canada was a lot sloppier in this match than I kind of thought they were going to be. But again, how much of it goes down to tired legs, tired minds. But when it mattered most, I mean, the red card was fortunate. But in our defense, Peru could have been down to 9 men. We capitalized on it. We scored the goal, and we're in a really good position right now. If Argentina can take care of business tonight, it'll go 6 points, 3 points, 1 point, 1 point. And we'll be sitting in an excellent position where we only need a draw against Chile to move on to the quarterfinals. And then who knows what happens in that group. Group B is kind of the group of life. We don't know who we could get matched up to, and we don't want to look ahead of Chile, but we've set ourselves up in a great position right now. Schaffelberg was a huge talking point, absolutely electric. It was quality. It was quality. Every time he had the ball, he was making the right runs. He was finding space. He could have had 2-3 assists, and he picked up, and just you seeing his IQ, the way that he received that ball the way he did, and then just looked up, found the pass, and then David does what he does. It was fantastic. But I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with me for the Vamos watch along. Next up is the Vamos post-game show. So I'm going to hand it over to Adam Jenkins, Gareth Wheeler, Oliver Platt, and KJ as well. So hopefully you guys are excited. Get your guys' questions in. Huge moment for Canadian soccer, man. Really is. Excited to see what the boys have to say. That is all for me. The Vamos post-game show is up next. We'll do a quick transition, and the boys will be joining in.
Thank you very much, Josh Deming. And if I may, Vamos! Canada 1, Peru 0. This is presented by Degree. I'm fired up. A lot of Canadian football supporters are as well. I'm assuming that at least the majority of the panel here with Gareth Wheeler, Christian Jack, and Oliver Platt are too. A match that could have had a much different feeling if not for Jonathan David. He scores on his 50th cap. Jacob Schaffelberg comes into the match and changes the dynamic for Canada. A red card given, a potential red card, well, maybe not a potential, a red card missed, and Maxime Crépeau continues his god-like performances lately in Canadian red. Let's go to Christian Jack first, who is not in Kansas City and is probably happy about that today because it is not that hot where he is right now, but I'm sure you've got some thoughts, my friend.
Yeah, great to be with you all. Not in Kansas City, dad duty this week, but with graduation of certain people in my household. So, we'll be moving on to the next game, but just a marvelous occasion, not only for Canadian soccer, but for Canadian sport. Just to see Canada go out there and make history, to go out there and stand up in a game like that to a team that is so savvy in the way that they play the game. There's lots of other words you could come up with, by the way. We'll go with savvy for now, and just go up and go toe to toe with them, and and really take control of the game in the second half. So just a wonderful, I thought a wonderful second half performance. They were really on the ropes early, but they found a way to come through it. And sometimes you just got to win a game, and they found a way to win. And that man again, Jonathan David. I don't know what you guys thought, but the moment that one-on-one it was played through, I knew he was going to score. I knew he was going to score. I've seen him score goals like that for club all the time. And that, I think it was 9 seconds from the moment Kyle Larin took that ball, played it into Jacob Schaffelberg, played it to Jonathan David, and it was in the back of the net. It was almost the perfect scenario that you could build up with Canada at that moment, because they had all the possession and they couldn't break them down. And then suddenly Peru with 10 men got further forward. Then they made the transition away and score. So, brilliant to see Jonathan David step up in that way as well in his 50th cap.
Gareth Wheeler.
The good news is I have the chat working today. I figured this out. So that's a positive.
It's not good news.
I'm just looking for all the comments about the Canadian strikers being the problem with the team, because it was just a crazy reaction by so many after the first 3 games under Jesse Marsch. This was the difference in the game. Let's not sugarcoat this. Canada didn't play well here at all today. I think there's a lot of question marks about the tactical setup, the approach, a lot of things to do. But like KJ said, they survived, And the win is what history will remember. It's not going to be the process. That's just something for us to dissect on the side. But the difference tonight was the fact that Kyle Larin and Jonathan David, along with Jacob Schaffelberg, created a wonderful Canada goal in transition. Completely, that was the thing that Canada was probably most concerned about, committing too many players forward in the game and then getting stuck on transition. But they did it to Peru. And the fact that you have a player like Jonathan David that can take full advantage of a moment like that, more so than anyone else on the field. You had Kyle Larin, and KJ documented it after the last game, coming back, putting the work defensively as well, which, believe it or not, is very important in the game in 2024. He won the initial challenge and then played a wonderful ball to Schaffelberg to spring the team forward. It was that one moment that Canada were able to take advantage of. Peru gift wrapped this for them. Petulance, they were butchers. They're a really poor team. I just, not much quality in that team at all, but the wherewithal, the dark arts, the BS that they bring along with them, it almost worked. They were the better side for almost an hour before Araujo decided just to take matters in his own hands. And it was just sheer stupidity by the Peruvians, and they threw the game away. I mean, this was more of a must-win for me. Well, it was a must-win for both sides, and then Peru just ended up throwing it away and throwing it right into Canada's favor. So well done to the boys for finding a way. Difficult conditions. There should never be a 5 p.m. kickoff, by the way, in Kansas City, Missouri at the end of June. I think it's just idiotic. But Canada, that's what you'll remember, is now they put themselves in a position, if they pick up a point in their third match, unless Chile does something incredible against Argentina tonight, then they'll move on to the next round of Copa America. At the end of the day, that's the most important thing.
Ollie, last first word to you.
They won. That's it for me. They won the game. They won their first game at Copa America, and a really significant win and a really significant moment, I think, for this program to get that. And like, there's a lot to get into in the match in terms of the Canadian performance and some of the areas that I think are obviously going to need improvement, and some of the help they got today in getting that win. But they won, and I think that's all that matters. You now have a team that is in a position, barring a major upset from Peru or Chile against Argentina, that needs 1 point to get through to a Copa America quarterfinal here, and you can't make a big enough deal of that.
All right, well, just a reminder that on Vamos presented by Degree, especially these post-match reaction shows, we will be, of course, showing your comments as much as we possibly can. If you have any questions for the panel, please do put them in the chat, and they will come up as we have time to get to them. As Ollie mentions, there are so many layers to this match, and I think there's a lot of ways to feel about the performance from the Canadians, but you're right to celebrate when the results come, Canada. You should savor the moment. It is a huge occasion, and I think one of the biggest talking points, of course, is the fact that they have their first win and first goal under Jesse Marsch. I'm sure we'll talk about the violent play from Peru at times, but let's start with the goal. Ollie, I'll come back to you first on this, because it didn't really matter who was going to score it so long as there was one, because this match and the post-game feeling is much, much different if it's another game under Jesse Marsch, under this new regime, if there are no goals scored. Understanding the competition, but that must be the biggest weight in the world off their shoulders right now.
Yeah, when they're able to play in transition like that, they're a dynamite team. Like, there's very few that are going to be able to deal with that and live with them. And, you know, Peru, I think, are probably kicking themselves for allowing themselves to get in that type of situation with 10 men. But all the same, all credit to the players who orchestrated that goal. It took two big moments of quality from Larin and Schaffelberg to get the ball up the pitch and into Jonathan David's path. And then David, just in those situations, is like his ability to stay in control in all senses, you know, mentally as he collects himself for the finish, technically in terms of his touches to set up the finish. It's the best part of his game for me, and what makes him such an exciting player, and the type of player who's going to command the transfer fee and has scored the goals at the level he's scored them at. So it was a brilliant goal, and that's Canada at their best. Is, you know, even when perhaps the possession play and some, you know, certain aspects of their attacking play hadn't been great on the day by any stretch, they can still kill you in a flash, in a few seconds, with a transition moment like that.
Well, Christian, you just spoke to Jonathan David's quality, and I don't think anyone in the room here would disagree with that. But there has been a narrative around Jonathan David lately that in these big games, in these big tournaments, he hasn't been as effective as the supporters know he can be. What is it about Jonathan David's composure and on top of his quality that makes him the guy for Canada when they need a moment?
Yeah, what a lot of nonsense. Any criticism of Jonathan David. It's just mind-blowing to me. This country doesn't deserve this guy. They have no idea how good he is. We have no idea. And by the way, I've said it before, I'll say it again. The world has got it wrong on this guy as well. So far, the world of football has got it wrong. And someone's going to get an absolute gem and a bargain of a player this summer. He's 24 years old. He's one of the best defensive centre forwards in the world. And he can finish like one of the best centre forwards in the world. I'm not saying he's one of the best, but he can finish like it. And the best footballers, the best finishers in world football are when they get put through in one-on-one and you know they're going to score. Because so many other players freeze and he doesn't. We saw it in CONCACAF World Cup qualifying. We saw it in El Salvador. We've seen it so many times where he has that ability to break through. And I said it before, I'll say it again. I knew he was going to score. I knew he was going to score. You wouldn't want anybody else. And for me right now, this is a player that is going to score goals like that for Canada for many, many years. And at 24, what a star. That's the biggest story of the day. The second one we'll get to later is what Marsh did at halftime. But the biggest story of the day is that Alphonso Davies got his moment in Qatar. And Jonathan David, who if he's not an equal of Alphonso Davies, he's very close. He got his moment in his Copa America and he deserves it. And no one deserves it more than him.
Gareth Wheeler.
Does it again. An Opta stat came up that 26 of the 27 goals that David has scored for Canada have been in competitive competition, not friendlies, not useless matches. He scores in big games. And oftentimes, I know people tune in, they want to see free-flowing football in the international game. It's very rare. We saw 2 games in Group C today at the Euros, which
don't remind
wasn't
me.
a lot in it. No, but it's just... This is typically the way that international football is played, and it's moments that win games. And the moment fell to David, and he took it. And so I echo the sentiments of KJ absolutely and completely about Jonathan David. And that's why Canada are such a dangerous side. It's not because they're playing the best football that they've completely aligned under Jesse Marsh and what he wants from them right now. It's that you have difference makers in the team. You looked at the Peruvian side. I mean, they brought in 4 subs that were all 4 of the 5 subs that they brought in were all older than Canada's oldest player on the field. And that was Jonathan Osorio at 32. They brought in like a 40-year-old, a 30, like players with no legs. And you saw it and it made a difference. And they went down to 10 men. There was simply no coming back for Peru at this point. This is a young team. And you look at players like, where are the leaders? Where's the player the players that are going to grab the game by the scruff of their neck? I mean, David can't in the position that he plays, but what he can do is take his chances and keep on working. And based on the work in the attacking third and the effort that he puts in, the question came up: is it Crepeau? Is it David, the man of the match? You got to score goals to win games. It's got to be Jonathan David. I mean, for me, and that's no disrespect to Crepeau at all. He played his role in this game, but Jonathan David, for me, he's the reason why Canada are coming away with the full 3 points.
Okay, Jay, you brought it up just moments ago, so I'm actually going to try and sandwich this question together for you when we talk about lineup tweaks and how the flow of the game was going. But we can't look past the red card and the fact that Canada did get to play up a man after all. First and foremost, thank goodness Jacob Schaffelberg is okay, because that looked a nasty injury for the Nova Scotian right away. But he shook it off. He is tougher than I am, certainly, and he was able to be a big impact in the goal that Canada scored. But with the red card and with Canada going up a man, do you think we might have been destined for a 0-0 without it if it was 11v11, or do you think the changes that were made by Jesse Marsh out of necessity, let's be honest, might have been able to be enough to find a winner regardless?
I think the changes pushed the confidence level into Canada's favor. That they were able to believe that they can go on and win the game, because they weren't shaking. They were on the ropes and almost on the ground at halftime. Like, it had gone off the rails. No composure, lack of control, lack of genuine power. Fitness looked like a little bit of a question mark. All the things that Peru wanted to throw into the mixer where they knew they couldn't beat you, they were beating them in. Forget the technical quality and the pace, but they didn't give them the chance. So I think the changes made the difference. And that's why I think Jesse Marsh is a huge part of this win. And it's a big storyline because he was brave and bold. Did anybody, no matter how bad they played, did anybody believe that they were going to make 3 changes after 45 minutes? How could we? After all the evidence that Marsh has displayed through 3 international games where barely any changes have taken place at all. And suddenly he goes, no, not 1, not 2. Let's put 3 on. Let's change the shape as well. And then Johnston coming into midfield when the ball was on the other side, I think was very important because it just gave a little bit more of a help for Osorio and Eustáquio to push higher. Schaffelberg free forward with Davies. Davies is, I mean, I've said it, I don't know how many years now, but I don't like Davies in that wide attacking position. I know a lot of other people do, but you can see how impactful he can be in that wing-back role and how much more someone in front of him can get the amount of space because of Davies being on the field. So, look, I thought Marsh's tactics changed it a lot. Look, we'll never know. To answer your question, Adam's a good one. We'll never know. But I think being in that position, but I said earlier, the irony is that Canada started having all the ball and couldn't break Peru down. And it took a Peru attack and a breakdown from a throw-in to transition for Canada to have 9 seconds to put the ball in the back of the net, Ollie. So, Ollie, that for me, that's football, no? Like, sometimes it goes that way.
Yeah, I mean, this is something we saw with Canada quite a bit, over the past couple of years and during World Cup qualifying. Was there were games I remember during that run where they weren't playing particularly well. Like I even think of the Panama game, they ended up winning 4-1. They were in a bit of trouble early in that second half, the way that game was going, and then they just have the ability to snap their fingers and produce, a moment of real explosiveness and electric play in transition, and the game totally flips on its head. So it was another one of those moments. Like I said earlier, I think it's the greatest asset of this team. I do think personally the red card was the biggest factor in the game. Jesse Marsh's changes did help, and they were better early in the second half than they were in the first, but that I don't think is saying a lot because the first half was awful. Peru, I think, they tried to give it away in the first half with that ridiculous headbutt, and then they made sure of it in the second half with that tackle.
Yeah, it's hard to say in 10 plus minutes. I'm with Ollie. If the red card, it'll without the red card, I'm not sure Canada wins that game, in fairness. And although KJ, you're right, bringing on 3 players, I'm not sure Marsh had much choice. It was interesting they decided to bring off Cornelius specifically. He was on a yellow after the first game. Was he already looking ahead to Chile? That didn't make a whole lot of sense for me because he was a rock at the back. Perhaps the distribution of Kamal Miller on the left side of a 3 is what he was looking for a little bit more, but it's just so hard to tell because we barely got into the flow of the second half and then the sending off took place. I just look, it's the first game under Jesse Marsh where the team, I think by most people, not necessarily me, because I knew it was going to be this kind of game. It was going to be really difficult to play. But I think a lot of fans thought that Canada should go on and win this game. And there was pressure on the team to respond that way. And I just thought he got his starting 11 completely wrong. One of the strengths of this team has been the Davies-Miller combination down the left-hand side. They've been rock solid against really good opponents. The fact that Liam Miller was playing out of position down the right-hand side didn't work. The fact that he started Richie Larea from the get-go didn't work. His last start was February 25th. He's played like 30 minutes for Canada over the course of 2 games. There's no way in that condition that Larea, for me, was able to start that game, and it showed. Davies, like KJ said, pushed further up the field. Not for me. He's been really good at left back for this Canada team. Just that starting 11, nothing worked, and they were almost punished for it on multiple occasions. I'm not sure why he decided to throw that team in the blender. And yeah, maybe the changes at halftime helped, but certainly what the difference was in this game was the sending off in the 59th minute. That's what turned the tides. And an older, slower, physical Peru team had to be safe. They were tired. They didn't have legs, and they really couldn't challenge Canada. So it was just about Canada going out and finding that goal. And thankfully, because of Laren, Schaffelberg, and David, they were able to do so.
KJ, your thoughts on the lineup decisions? I know what you think of the changes and how you think it impacted the match, but just to pick up on that point from Gareth, where I think a lot of people were asking some questions with the changes coming into this game. What did you make of those from Jesse Marsh?
Yeah, I didn't mind them. I mean, it didn't work, but I don't think it's a disaster. I understand why he wanted Richie Larea in because of his tenacity. He wanted him in there because he brings a real energy and a fight that he doesn't get from a lot of the other ones. We talked about Tejan's struggles confidence-wise. I just think that it takes Alphonso Davies, arguably your best player, out of what I think is his best position. And again, we're back to that, where does Davies go? Where does he not go, right? So I didn't mind I didn't mind it other than that. I think, the Kamal Miller substitution, I understand what Wheels is saying. I would just say that Derek Cornelius has played very well, but the gap still is very close in the eyes of Jesse Marsh between Derek Cornelius and Kamal Miller. And on a first half where you could have made probably quite more changes if you're allowed based on everybody's performance. I don't think anybody could really have argued with that. And as he said, he changed the shape. They got some fresher legs on, and I thought Miller did okay. So, Jesse Marsh is still experimenting and still learning about his players, and you can only do that in the highest level when you put them on the field and see what they can do about it. So, look, all in all, I think that the 45 minutes wasn't great, but I love the fact that they were in the fight. And sometimes you got to watch teams suffer and play a different style. And I watched it with a smile on my face. And I know Canada fans will be like, oh, this is terrible that we're not getting the ball. But just to see them stick it in and keep going and talking to each other and suffering and struggling and watching Kone struggle again, but trying again, and just seeing the suffering is only going to get them better and prepared for a World Cup. It's the only thing you can ever ask for. And I thought Eustachio was class. I have to say, he never stopped running. And the amount of times he covered ground defensively to block shots and to win balls back again, and to play in a midfield two like that with Kone and then Osorio were very different, and they're not midfield two players usually. I thought he was very, very good, guys.
Ollie?
Yeah, I just think on that first half, I don't think that was anything new in terms of the kind of problems that Canada ran into. I don't think, I think we've seen that before. Whenever, they're a very good team in transition, as we've talked about. I think when they play against a team that, is around their level, not one of the lower teams in CONCACAF, obviously, where they're more comfortable, they play like a team against a team like this, and they are challenged to have the ball a little bit more, and to build up from the back and play through the thirds and control the game more than they're maybe used to. They really struggle. And I thought they struggled badly at that in that first half. There were so many situations where Peru were being given transition opportunities because of cheap giveaways from Canada, poor decisions, sloppy play. Kone, I love the guy. I think he's a phenomenal young talent, but he had a nightmare of a half in central midfield. He wasn't the only one. But the ball was just being given away far too easily, far too frequently, and a better team will punish them for that. So that is the area for me where, I said it before Jesse Marsh got hired, and I'm still saying it now. There has to be improvement and there has to be development with this team, or I think they're going to struggle at the highest levels and the biggest tournaments like this one. Again, the red card, I think, changes the dynamics. The substitutions did help to change the dynamics to a certain extent, and they're able to have much more joy after that.
Garrett, this is going to be a conversation every time he doesn't score, have a worldy performance, I'd imagine. But Alphonso Davies, now that he is the captain of this team, he opens himself up to more responsibilities, more of the spotlight, if that's even possible. But with KJ mentioning about his positioning in the game, and I know your thoughts on this just in general with Alphonso, how does Canada find a way to get more out of him? Is it enough that he's just steady, and if he's playing at left back, he's having great performances defensively and pitching in on occasion, or is there still a desire for him to get the job done and be the best player on the pitch on attack and in defense?
Alphonso Davies should play left back. I'll just say that again. And that was the thing. If you want to bring in Larea for those aforementioned reasons, play him down the right-hand side ahead of Alistair Johnston. Why split up? Why split up Liam Miller and Alphonso Davies? Miller's not a right-sided player. I was trying to look back when the last time Liam Miller played on the right. It just didn't make any sense for me. And it just seemed like Larea and Davies weren't on the same page playing down that left-hand side. In fact, the only times when Davies has shone when he's been more forward up the field is when he's playing with Adekubi, when he's in the team. Those players complement each other very well, so I don't mind that. But it's just more about the structure around him. I had no problem with Alphonso Davies today. He wasn't the focus for me. It was more about just the team structure and what it looked like. But again, I can gripe about the tactics. I can gripe about some of the decisions that were made. At the end of the day, they won the game, which I'm thrilled about. And they showed the wherewithal and the mentality to do that. I'll go back to just one other thing. Forget Davies. Tejan Buchanan is playing for Inter Milan right now. And I know he's not playing a whole lot of football. But for Canada to be at their best, he has to be impactful. He just does. After David and Davies, those top level players, there's not that many of them. And Tajon for me is one of them, playing at the club that he's at. Like, I would have loved to have seen him start to, and play 11v11 today, because I think it was the first game that he would have got a little bit more joy playing that natural role rather than tucking in and tucking back all the time in a defensive way. And he's got some snarl to him as well. He's got some nasty in his game. And I just thought it was a missed opportunity to kind of get Tajon going, him coming on for 20, 25 minutes, whatever, at the end of the game when you're pressed up against it, or when you're 11v10, like, and the game is kind of like choppy, and just it wasn't really the best time for me. I would have loved to have seen him 11v11 from the get-go. So I think just Tajon has to play for this team to reach its heights. So it's going to be really compelling to see how they use him. There's a lot of calls I know in the chat as well, guys. I'm not sure how you feel about Schaffelberg pushing for a starting spot. Like, he works, he's working hard, he's got the legs, he's got the speed, he's got a lot of intangibles. I think I still prefer him coming off the bench, being the X factor, kind of change of pace guy. But I think Tajon's role, Adam, that's a long-winded way of saying it. I think Tajon's role is more important right now than looking at Alphonso Davies.
Christian, anything there you want to pick up on?
I think Schaffelberg might start on Saturday.
Yeah.
I think he might play ahead of Davies. And again, depending on the system. But I like Gareth. I like him coming off the bench. I think he makes a big difference. But he has earned a lot of praise, and he deserves a lot of credit for the amount of times he kept going and getting forward. And I said it before: if you're an opposition fullback or in that heat, and they're playing in Orlando, so there's going to be heat even though it's at night. And suddenly you get through 50, 60 minutes and you're pretty exhausted and you're puffing, and then you get Jacob Schaffelberg start running at you for 30, 35 minutes. It's not fun. So that is a real good thing to keep in mind if you're Canada. I just think, I'll go back to what Ollie was saying. And of course, I understand what he means about building up. And that is, I think, an area that Marsh is going to really take on going forward. And I just think that perhaps my expectations are a little bit lower. In a sense that I'm trying to see what this Canada team, or what are we learning from them on this regard, right? I didn't see anything in that first half where I was like thinking that, I'm not surprised that they struggled a little bit in that area, to build up in that way. I think they've still got a lot of work to do in those areas. And I just, maybe it was just the fight that I saw them give today and not back down, that I think I'll probably take a little bit more away from it with that than the tactics of things. But it does bring up lots of scenarios ahead of Saturday where, depending on, obviously we don't know what's going to happen tonight, but we don't want to start turning around this storyline where it's like, oh, Canada only needs a draw. Canada only needs a draw. Because I don't want them to go out there and play like they only need a draw. And I'll be quite frank, guys, I want them to go out there and put their best foot forward. And if they get knocked out against a team that is better than Peru, I'd rather them do that than just bunker in and not necessarily, show the style that they're trying to evolve on, if that makes sense.
Well, we're down to the final few minutes. We're about 25-ish minutes away from kickoff of that other match that KJ alludes to, Chile and Argentina from MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. KJ just brought it up, and we have a question from Michael. He asked, what is the best result for Canada in the Chile-Argentina match? Argentina win to give Canada a shot at second in the group. That might be what Michael's leaning towards. Ollie, what do you think?
Anything that's Argentina not losing. That's all we need, right? Like, if Canada gets a point against Chile, they just need Chile and Peru or Argentina rather, to avoid an upset in either one of those games. So that's anything that's Argentina staying unbeaten in this group is good news for Canada.
Yeah, I would just
add that.
I'm sorry, KJ, go ahead.
I would just add that Peru walked off the field like their Copa America was over.
Yeah.
That they're going to play one more game, and that's against the world champions. So I think we know what they're probably going to finish on. So in effect, it looks like what could be a last 16 knockout game in Orlando between Canada and Chile, with obviously one team having the advantage depending on how tonight goes.
Some of those guys can find their next gig inside the octagon. Like, honestly, like butchers. There wasn't much football, was there?
Okay, so looking ahead to Saturday, and I know that you guys will be back tomorrow. Some of you will be back tomorrow with Andy and Jordan in studio, but in a mixture, Gareth Wheeler, of a final word and a hope or an expectation for Saturday, where are you leaning right now?
Hope and expectation. I think you have hope based upon the mentality of this group. And through KJ's interviews, I recommend you go watch some of them on One Soccer. I mean, they're all so confident. And sometimes you just wonder if it's misplaced, but then they keep on fighting. And even when things aren't going their way, the desire, the belief, I think that what has been instilled in them over the years still exists, and it's trumping anything else right now. And sometimes, the one thing about Jesse Marsch being hired when he did, you wonder how Canada was going to maximize the fact that he is the manager. And I think it will pay off over time, but the clock is ticking towards the 2026 World Cup. Copa America, for me, it was way too soon. You almost need to rely on the mentality aspects, like the intangible aspects, rather than the tactical approach right now. So I'm gonna back that this group of players back themselves. They don't back down against anyone, nor should they against Chile. It's a better opponent that they're going to play on the weekend, but an opponent that's going to come off a result against Argentina. We'll see where they stand. So Canada are in the position they want to be. This was a must-win. They won that game. Let's go on to the weekend and see if they can pull this off.
Ali, same question to you.
I think they got to play better against Chile. If I'm being honest, I still have a lot of areas of that performance are going to need to improve. If that, just to get the draw that I think, obviously that they need, that would be a great outcome to get them through to the quarterfinals. So there's work to do, obviously, in a very short period of time. I understand, the spirit, the fight, all of that is great. And it's great to see maybe it returning to where it was a year or two ago and maybe was lost a little bit. But I think at these tournaments, when I just didn't think Peru were very good at all today. And I expect Chile to be better, and Canada will need to be better as a result. And I'll just add, I think Schaffelberg should play. I've been on the side, and it may still be the correct opinion that he's maybe more effective off the bench, but the kid is just making an impact every single game right now. He stretches teams, he gets behind, he gets around, creates more space for others by doing that. Having watched England earlier today, I'm certainly seeing the value in a player who can do that right now.
Was waiting for one.
And Schaffelberg is providing it, so I'd put him in the team.
KJ gave you the first word of the show. I'll give you the last as well.
Wow, it's an honor.
It sure is.
I would say, first of all, I think it's going to be a transitional game against Chile, a little bit more than this one. I want people to understand, and maybe they already do after watching Peru today, it's not hard, but Chile's better than them. And it's pretty significant better, by the way. And I know that they're on the older side like Peru, but they're far more technical. They're far quicker, and they're far more intelligent too, by the way, as footballers. So I think we should be careful. And I don't mean this in terms of, look, let's word this in two different ways. Internally, they have absolutely every right to be celebrating that game now and believing that they're going to get to a Copa America quarterfinal. Externally, I think we have every right to say that they are the underdogs to progress against Chile. And I still think we have every right to say that based on what Chile have performed in the history of this, the way Canada played for the majority of today's game. But that doesn't mean they're not going to get through. I just want people to understand how far in such a short amount of time this Jesse Marsch Canada has come. And under John Herdman, they did a great job for a long time in terms of turning into that brotherhood and getting everybody on the same page and building an identity. And the shift now has gone from that to incredible self-belief and confidence within this group that is really united and together. Gareth mentioned it. I saw it in my interviews. They genuinely now believe that they're going to get there. That is a belief. I don't think they had even in the World Cup. They said the right things, but it's different. But I still say that, yes, Chile are beatable. But if Chile go into that game knowing that they'll win to beat Canada, we should still be very careful and hesitant in a hostile environment to think that Canada should be favorites. So I think I would just say that and hope for the best and be cautious in all of our optimism and as we move forward in terms of how we look back on this tournament.
Well, a 1-0 result for Canada to celebrate, far from perfect, but you got to start somewhere, and they start with their first win under Jesse Marsch today. The goal from Jonathan David, and KJ's right. Celebrate tonight, but while the players might be confident, supporters, I think, want to see a continued run of improved play every time they take to the pitch. That's going to wrap it up for us tonight here on Vamos, presented by Degree. We are back in studio tomorrow, and we'll have more to continue to break down this match, take a look at the results result from Chile and Argentina later on tonight. But we thank you, as always, for not just joining and watching, but interacting and engaging in the show. We'll do this once again after Canada's match on Saturday in Orlando. We cannot wait for it. We want to thank Josh Deming for getting this show started and producer Armin in the background for keeping us running along. But for now, that's it. Thanks for joining us on Vamos, presented by Degree.